annexed by Jordan. Then we calculated it was not a Palestinian state, and the only reason that we are in this is because of the entire international debate. What? Exactly. I wanted to save, but I cannot save because it never comes out of my mouth correct. So thank you for saying it.
That's why I said
Say it again. Say it again so if people want to look and understand what it is. Which is a legal term which basically means what I said before, that the new governing body inherits the borders of the former governing body.
We know this much. That Jordan had the land from 48 to 67 and did not for 1 minute think of creating a Palestinian state. And nobody called on them to do so. I'm not aware of any calls on Jordan from 48 to 67 to create a Palestinian state.
Does that surprise you, or?
No, I mean, it's just the whole Palestinian movement is just a way of continuing the war to keep Israel from existing.
Well, I mean, this seems like the Palestinians have more of an objection to be ruled under a Jewish state. So, I mean, I don't understand why you bring that up.
Well, to the extent that they thought that they deserved an independent country, from 48 to 67, there's no record of an independence movement. There's no record of the people of Gaza saying we should be independent. It's a claim that was invented. And to the extent people think that they are a people with nationalhood who deserve a country, there's no historical, it's the whole origin of the movement seems to be a rejection of Israel, not a rejection of anything
It
else.
should surprise you, shapeshifter.
Swallow.
Sorry.
Yeah, finish chewing. Yeah.
But I'm saying it should surprise you when you're saying, oh, does that? I'm done.
Okay.
I'm just saying it should surprise the pro-Palestinian people that Jordan never tried to create a Palestinian state because we have been told that Palestinian statehood is the goal. If Jordan had the opportunity to create a Palestinian state, and if Palestinian statehood was in fact the goal, we should be surprised that Jordan did not create a Palestinian state. So when Randy says they didn't create a Palestinian state, it's not surprising to Randy, because Randy doesn't think that Palestinian statehood is the goal. Jordan wouldn't want to create a Palestinian state. It should be surprised Palestinian statehood is the goal, because if Jordan didn't create a Palestinian state, hence, do you think the actual goal really is?
Yeah, that was really hard to follow.
I'll make it even simpler. I'll make it simpler. Okay? If you believe that they are a people who desperately deserve their own country, then why was there no mention of it from 48 to 67? And my answer is because they are an invented people. They are what's the word I'm looking for? Migrant workers who came from about 5 different countries. They don't have a distinct, their clans, their tribes, but there's no famous Palestinian poet, no famous Palestinian king. There's no marker of an independent people before 67.
But using your own logic against you, though, why would the Jews, especially ones that were inhabiting Israel, deserve a country there for themselves?
You know, you're late to the room. You're late to the room, and so you will not be. You know, I'm dealing with one thing right now, and if you don't understand the origins of Zionism, we'll have that conversation
No,
later
I'm
on.
talking about
You just wait till the room. Thank you.
You talked about state.
It's not about deserving, Pepe. I think this is where people are mistaken with the Palestinian cause. It's about creating a state. When Zionists came, they didn't say, "Oh, bring us a state." They dried swamps and they built infrastructure. They built like government bodies and judicial bodies, and like this is how you create a state.
You guys were given. You guys were given. You guys, the League of Nations, basically allowed you.
Yeah, that's no. No one gave. No, that's nonsense, dude. Let's not dump the conversation down, okay?
Okay, so here's my this is what I think is a more accurate narrative. Let's start with the fact that the Palestinians are one of the only two kind of peoples in the Middle East, aside from the Lebanese, that have the longest continuous connection to the land.
False.
That's,
That is very
can I
false.
make, before everybody starts getting all excited, can I finish making my points? And then
Yeah,
we can
but it's false.
debate.
So you're gonna
Okay, I appeal to Daniel, like, if I'm gonna be interrupted, then I'll just leave.
I'm just saying you're gonna make a few points. Why not? Like, if you make.
I'd like to make 3 points. Are you okay with that? If that's not okay with you, I'll just leave. That's totally fine.
Right, you've been served. You're number 14, remember?
Try to make.
Daniel, can I make 3 points?
Go ahead, everyone. Just
Can I make, okay. You're okay if I make 3 points without being interrupted?
I am okay. Go
I'm
ahead.
not saying that it's harder to have a discussion with three, but go ahead.
Okay, all right. The first point I made. The second is that the Palestinians, including the Palestine Arab Congress that existed in 1920, yes, they rejected the idea of Zionism, and to that extent, part of their movement was in response to rejecting Zionism. The third point is the Palestinians get to choose and who they want to be ruled by. And yes, they preferred the Arabs than the Jews.
They are Arabs.
Yeah, so you said at the beginning that they are like a distinct group, the Palestinians that believe in this. So yes, there were Arabs that lived on the land, but not every person that was in the land in 1948 is original Palestinian, because we also know that hundreds of thousands of them immigrated during the British Mandate and the Zionist movement, because, again, referring to what I said before about building a nation, there was a lot of work. And it was growing and people immigrated there. So not everybody, yes, they were, of course, there were also Jews there. But hundreds of thousands of them also immigrated. Also Jews, by the way.
Right, they came because of opportunities created by the Jewish settlers. That half a million
They
Arabs
have a
came.
higher percentage of Levantine DNA than the Jews that live there. That is a fact. So their ancestors, they do have
All right,
ancestors.
so American Indians have a higher percentage of DNA than you. So are you going to leave?
No, but you guys are calling them Arabs to dismiss them as somehow not being native whatsoever to the land.
Pepe, first of all, Levantine is not Israel, okay? Levantine is, again, when I say immigrated from the Levant, okay? I'm not saying that they immigrated from the North Pole, but Levant is a big place. Syria is the Levant.
Southern Syria.
Okay, do you guys have okay, so as far as I recall, there were about, 800,000 to 1 million Palestinians living there, and there were about 80,000 Jews. So if we want to talk about
When?
in the 20s and 30s.
When?
So if
No.
That's not true.
no? Okay. All right.
In 1937, there were roughly 500,000 Jews.
But what is your point?
I said my point is again, the first point I made is that they are aside from the Lebanese, the group with the longest continuous connection to the land there. And
The
if
Palestinians?
Palestinians, yes.
Yeah, but what is...
And the secondary point.
But what do you mean? It's like,
Let him finish and we can talk about it afterwards, please.
but this is what I started before. When you finished, I didn't get an answer, because this is exactly the point.
No, you didn't get an answer because everybody started jumping in.
So So there were Arabs there, but you're making now as a distinct group calling them Palestinians. Even like if I would see documents, even written by Arabs, they were called the Arabs of Palestine. By the way, so were the Jordanians. And the Jordanians are not called Palestinians anymore. And the British mandate was also
But they were
Jordan.
called South Syrian Arabs.
And there was South Syria, and no, like in the document that we talked about, Yaakov, the definition of the Nakba, or whatever the name is, the origin of the Nakba, there he called the people there the Arabs of Palestine.
Right, but they themselves call themselves South Syrians.
So amongst them, yes, there are probably a group of Arabs that's been living there for generations. But when we now say Palestinians, we are talking about, I don't know, millions or hundreds of thousands if we go back to 1948. Those are
living there for centuries,
not the hundred thousands. Not the hundred thousands.
Okay, if you could provide a source, I'll read it.
Of what? The immigration of Arabs to
Yeah,
the British mandate?
if you can provide a source that suggests that the 800,000 to 1 million Palestinians that have been there since the 20s and 30s all immigrated there around the same time as the Jews, then I'll read it.
I didn't say they all. Again, I didn't say all, and I emphasized a few times that there were Arabs that were living there and many that immigrated there.
Okay, how many is
I don't know how many exactly. I can check. I'm just saying that
you provide a source. Yeah, I'll read your source.
So there were Arabs living there, and there were Arabs that came, and according to the definition, anyone that basically lived from 46 until 48 on the land is considered a Palestinian, even if you immigrated in 1945.
I'm going back to the 20s.
All right.
The Ottoman Turks are great demographers. They took a census, and they have the data that we cared about.
The British also did censuses in the 1920s. They're the only ones in the earliest that were recorded. There weren't that many Jews.
That's correct.
There were more Christians than Jews.
That's correct.
There were tens of thousands, and nobody said the
Yeah,
Jews couldn't
Tens of thousands isn't what I saw. That's not the
Yeah,
numbers
but
that I
the-
saw when I read the censuses.
The Jews were
What
expelled.
talk about?
El Normal, that's not what the census, the British census said.
Yes,
Oh, I did. What are you talking? Hold on. That's exactly what I just told you. That's
Put it in
exactly.
the chat.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Forget it.
Forget it.
Forgot.
Well, I would just advise anybody who's interested to go look it up
Yeah.
yourself because there is
Put it
in
in
fact.
the chat.
What can I look up? I'm very interested.
Look
What
up
census
the British census.
Of what year?
I'm not.
No one is
Interrupting or you're triggered, man. Relax, boy.
I'm just asking for a year.
Nobody is triggered.
So I
This is
can
a
I
public
believe-
conversation.
Yeah, I'll call. I believe it was the 1922.
Yeah, okay, I've seen that.
The Jews, I mean, the story with the Jews is that they were expelled from the land. They were kicked out from the land, okay? And there was always Jewish presence, but the ties of Jews around the world was always to, like, Jerusalem and to this land. And they came back. It's a unique story. I get it. And, you know, people try to always compare everything to this or to that or to this. It's a unique story. And when we came back, Israel was occupied by the British.
But you can't, but after centuries or even thousands of years, somehow claim that this land is yours because you're part of some diaspora.
Why not?
Silly.
First of all,
Because it's just silly. Nobody.
Why
not? I don't think it's silly. I don't think it is silly.
Gotta go back to where you came from, Pepe.
See, I support
belong in the
Israel, but
USA.
it's like these weird fucking, this Hasbro bullshit you guys spew is so stupid.
Let me talk on
I don't like the word speed.
Let me answer because
I think
the guys
people are overusing
I'm not talking about a claim, okay? The claim is something that we can tell ourselves, okay? Going back, we didn't come and claim the
You
land.
don't have to honor your origin story, just like we don't have to honor Muslims. You claim that any land that was Muslim belongs to them.
Ignorance that Pepe
Listen
speaks.
to the words that I said, okay? I said this claim is something that we can only tell ourselves. So you are correct. This is not something that you are supposed to accept. It was never presented to you to accept. You're not listening to me. You're arguing with yourself. I actually said the exact same thing. This claim of this land is ours is something that we can tell ourselves, not to others. So this is why we never came and claimed the land, okay? That was never like we come and we put a flag and say it's ours. No, the people immigrated there, they were fighting the colonial forces, which were the British, and they created a state. They didn't come and claim it.
You mean colonial forces? But what were you guys? I mean, you guys were foreigners fighting for a piece of land that wasn't yours against another colonial force.
So this is where we see it differently. We are not a colony of no one. We are a nation that has been kicked out of their home, of their kingdom, and went outside, and we went back. We're not a colony of anyone. The British were colonizing because Britain is in Europe, while their forces were in the Middle East.
But where were the Jews from? They were overwhelmingly from
They were
Europe.
from Israel.
The Jews came from Judea and Israel, which is where we are today.
So you're telling me the ones who bombed the King David Hotel were ones that stayed in the Middle East? Of course they weren't.
What? What did you call on you? Stop talking all over the place. You were talking about how did the Jews get to Europe, okay? Like, do you think Judaism started in Europe? I mean, you know
I know where it we know where it came from. Nobody's denying that.
And the Jews are a nation.
Jesus comes from Jerusalem. Okay, so should I be able to go there and claim the fucking land as mine?
No,
Let me ask you a question, Pepe. How do you claim the U.S.?
I'm talking about the nation.
I claim it because I live here and my parents live here, okay?
Yeah, but they were American. You're American citizen.
So nobody's, yes, but the agreement here today is that you immigrate here, you get citizenship, all right? Those are very much your
Speak up a little bit. I can't really hear you. Can you speak up a little bit?
There were already people here, Pepe. They were Native Americans, and you came here and you claimed it as part of your culture. But you don't. You should go back to where you're from.
No, I didn't. And it's people before me. However, here's the difference. I'm not using some Hasbro bullshit to make it sound like, oh, it was so peaceful. We did nothing wrong. It was our home.
Hey, no one is saying that.
We know what the British did to the fucking natives. We know all of it. We know about slavery.
It's a straw horse. Nobody is saying that it was all peaceful and bullshit. Jews were treated as second-class citizens.
And you guys treated them like shit too. You guys are not perfect.
Jews were dhimmis all over the Middle East.
Okay, you're gonna act like they were.
But I don't understand how you came here. Why is your presence in the USA legitimate, but Jews who go back to Israel is not?
I didn't say yours isn't legitimate. I'm saying all of the Hasbro you guys use to justify it to make you guys seem like you are nothing but fucking saints. It's
You live in a place where American Indians used to live.
Yes, and the difference is I acknowledge that.
No, but I don't understand. What
Can you speak up a little bit? I can barely
Israel
hear
is
you
not.
here.
There's 2 million Arabs. There's 2 million Arabs who are Israeli citizens.
So what?
I didn't kick everybody out.
What about the millions of people? What about the millions of people that are being? Yes, but what about the millions of people that are living without representation, living like absolute fucking filth? Okay, in the West Bank and particularly Gaza.
Okay,
I
let someone else talk now.
I can respond to that. Send them driving.
Somebody respond to him because this guy is just
Somebody that aspired.
Explain to us how you justify living here when millions of Native
Because we made the
Americans
fucking
were
country.
killed and dispossessed.
The country was made by Europeans who came here. The language, the culture, everything. Our government all comes from the Europeans that came here.
People here before.
Now here's what I say about Israel. You guys created a nice.
Stop yelling, stop yelling, stop yelling, stop yelling, stop
I know,
yelling.
he's talking over me.
There were people here before today. You're able to have a
Functional
story.
country in the Middle East, and that is Israel. You guys built it. I think you guys should keep it. But this like stupid, all of this gay shit about your origin story, it's like really off-putting.
You're gay shit, dude. Okay? Hey, let other people talk. talk. You brought down the conversation. Your stupidity has brought down the conversation.
I agree with Randy.
Gay shit.
I agree.
Jews and
Take that gay shit and go.
If I may, hold on a second. So, Pepe, thank you. I appreciate it. I actually think this is a really good conversation, right? How do individuals, how do we morally, right, and morally and ethically, philosophically today, how do we justify any type of like movement, right? We have already established, so there's an established government now, and we do it by exchange of what we refer to as private property. So there's private property. How do we make a claim when we move anywhere in the United States? We have to buy that private property, right? That private property is an ownership of the nation, okay? So it's part of the U.S. If it's not by a private citizen, it goes back into the hands of the U.S., right? So now we're talking about the complexity of, like, there's Locke's labor theory, a whole bunch of different of how you attain property when it's not claimed, okay? But the thing is it was claimed. There were pieces of property. Jews that came in to Palestine and they
It wasn't claimed. That's
Okay.
incorrect.
Hold on. So according to Locke's labor theory of law, when I say claimed, I'm referring to a person that sat there and had mixed their blood with a piece of land. Irrespective of who the government was, who the land, it is a human being mixing their blood and sweat with a piece of land. That is their claim to that land now. That's private property. Okay?
No, that's not the way it works.
Hold on. Oh my God.
Mixing their blood with the land. Mixing their blood.
Triggered
If I have the land and I rent it to you and you work the land, it means that the land is yours. I own it and I give it to you you rent it from me.
Well, let's be clear. John Locke was a philosopher, not a legal theorist, and he's the foundation of the United States of America.
He also was a white colonizer.
Yeah, it's a political theory. It's not law, and it has nothing to do with people who are tenant farmers who don't own the land that they're working on, and just work on it. So, as nice as it sounded, I'm not sure of the parallels you're trying to draw.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So you just explained law is derived by what? Moral theory. We don't derive law just based on nothing. We have a basis. We've come together. We've logically looked at things, and then we've built law based on law. So it's absolutely insane and asinine to say that that's not how. Yes, that's how we derive our law and our moral
Common law is a basic
So let me just finish. Let me just finish. Sorry, not to distract. So what we're talking about is how unclaimed land, right? This was already claimed, okay? Now who was in 1919? Let's see.
It was claimed by the Muslim colonizers who stole the
I
land.
understand also this word claim. Like, what does it mean? Owned? Like, what do you mean claim? Like, you put a flag and it's yours? Because we just agreed that just coming and claiming something is not legitimate. How do I
Why do you
claim
guys
something?
call them the Muslim colonizers? I mean, the Ottoman Empire owned it, but most of those people were not fucking Turks. So, like, this is silly. They were colonized people when the Israelis came in, or excuse me,
Well, how did they get there?
Jews from outside came in.
How did they get there in the first place?
They've been going into that area of the world for since the last 50
But how did they get there
fucking
from
years.
Saudi Arabia? Because Muslims started in
They
Saudi
didn't
Arabia.
come from Saudi Arabia.
Well, why the fuck aren't they
They
still in
Saudi,
Saudi Arabia?
no, because
Tell them to go back
there was
to
an
Arabia.
Arabization
Go
of the
back
people.
to Arabia.
They're not Arabs. You're acting like they're
Even they say they're
from the Saudi Peninsula. They're not.
Even they say they're
They're Arabized
They're
people.
Arab Muslims.
Yeah, it's different from being Arabized.
How did they get Arabized? By the Arab colonizers who Arabized.
Yes, they were colonized people. My point
Alright,
exactly.
well, fuck the Arabs. They're the colonizer.
Okay, but not that. The Palestinians were the colonized.
This man knows nothing about the topic. He has zero knowledge.
I happen to have Marshall McLuhan right here.
All Bima was trying to say was that there were Palestinians that lived there for centuries, paid taxes to the people that colonized them, including the British and the Ottomans. And they also had deeds to their property. And so that is the claim. Why is this so hard to understand, guys?
Because it ruins their narrative that they're decolonizing the Middle East.
For all you weak men that can't listen to a woman, she just hearted what I said.
No, a lot of the property is what is called absentee. And a lot of it was.
She hearted it?
Wow, shut up everybody for a second. A lot of the property was owned by Arabs that were not living on the land. For example, some of those Turks, and they rented it. Now, the Jews, some of them bought this from the landowner at triple the price, and the people that were on the land were not necessarily the landowners. So yes, it's not about that.
90% was approximately 90% was open estate.
That's not the point. Like, the point is we bought it at more like the high of the price, like a high price.
6 to 8%.
From the owner.
6 to 8%, and 55% was given
Also
to you.
false, Fadi. Also false. You know,
Cite your
the right
sources.
to get
Cite your
votes-
sources.
I'm
Cite your
sorry,
sources.
the right- Sure, I'm not.
One second. What's
I'm
this?
just gonna ask
What
you,
is this?
Daniel.
What do you mean?
How much we bought? It's just a bunch of bullshit. So,
Hold on.
I want to address that.
You're spewing a bunch of
Hold on.
bullshit.
Hang on,
You're a bunch of bullshit.
That's for a second.
You're a bunch of bullshit. 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 See what interrupting does?
You don't.
You're a bunch.
Okay, so when you say 6 to 8%, you're talking about out of the total that was owned by individuals, or out of the entire land?
Jews purchased 6 to 8%.
No,
of
this
the
is not
entire
accurate.
land.
1 second, guys. No, please, no. I'm trying to ask a question. 6 to 8% of what?
The entire land.
He has no idea.
Okay, so
No, shut up.
please. I don't like to shout, and I don't like to shout. No, please. No, please. If you want, I tell you, I cannot do this. It's really like.
Well, how come I can't talk as well, Daddy? You go and
You're an idiot.
Not at the same. Not at the same time. I'm speaking.
You interrupted Rod.
So I'm trying to.
Oh, he just left because he got triggered by Normo's interruptions.
I hope he goes
Well,
far.
it's not really helpful. It makes me shout, and it's worth the conversation.
I
If you want to have
agree
a
with
conversation,
Daniel.
it needs to have like two, because otherwise everyone jumps in and takes
Yes,
to
we
a
need to choose our champions. The champions.
So the 6 to 8, so the 6 to 8% that they keep on talking about, they're basically comparing how much land was bought out of the entire land, including, for example, the Negev desert, or like anything that was not populated. I want to know the 6 to 8%. How much is it if we compare it to the actual land that was owned by individuals? Because the other land was not Palestinian land.
Correct. You're saying it was state-owned. It was owned by the
This is
state.
what I wanted to ask him. 6 or 8% of what? And then he said from the entire land. And I wondered, and how much the rest was, how much was owned by Palestinians? And this is where I was getting to.
Listen, you're a fucking giant, Daniel, okay? You're a giant, all right? But, you know, yes, and very few people can go against you. I just want to say one thing, okay? These people who come in here with the theories and John Locke and all that, I want a theory for you. I want to explain something to you. After World War II, Russia, USSR, which won the war, they redrew a map. They said this part used to be Poland, now it's Ukraine. And they said to the ethnic Polish people who lived in this area, you have a choice. You can stay here, or You can leave because this is not Poland anymore. If you speak Polish, if you're part of Polish culture, if you want to be the Catholic Church, you should leave because this is now Ukrainian and Russian Orthodox and everything else. It's going to be part of the USSR. And they left. And it didn't matter how many centuries their family had worked the land or built houses or owned businesses. They left. And after the Israel Independence War, 850,000 Jews left the Middle East, the Arab world. So things happen, John Locke, these are nice theories, but things in the real world happen. People move. What's unprecedented is the way the Arabs have kept Palestinian refugees in camps and limited their rights and restricted their everything around the world, around the Middle East. Kept them from having certain jobs. And Israel cannot be blamed for this.
Look at what they did to the Lebanon party. Look what they did to the majority. Unbelievable that you would turn to Israel and blame us for the situation that you guys created. So, at the end of World War I, the Ottoman Turks lost. The League of Nations was formed. Because all the empires were formed. The Spanish, the French, the Ottoman, the British. And the lands were returned to their indigenous people. That was true for the Arabs, who got 22 states and all of the oil. And it's true for the Jews. It's also true for the Central Asian states, which were then gobbled up by the Soviet Union. It's the same principle that was used to divide up South America when the Spanish Empire fell. It's the same principle that's used all over the world. The indigenous people were allowed to assert their self-determination. And that's the agreement that the Jews bought into. Never once did the Jews say, oh, the Arabs can't have their own nations. We want your land. No, Israel never said that. Israel said, thank you. And what did the Palestinians say? Palestinians said, we are going to kill you. We're going to push you into the sea. Not just the Palestinians, so-called Palestinians, the Egyptians, the Saudis, the Jordanians, the Lebanese, right? So they attacked on May 15, 1948. And what happened? They lost and Israel won. And that's the situation we're in today. That the indigenous people were given homeland. Some of them accepted it, and then we have a state today like Israel, and some of them did not accept it. And this is the problem that they find themselves in. They're determined not to have their own state. They're determined to kill the Jews. And we're sorry for not accommodating you. We're not going to let you do it. That's the whole story. That was directed as much at you, Pepe, as anybody else. So we don't have to say that we're virgins, Pepe, or that we're saints or anything like that. Our ties to the land are well known. They're universally acknowledged. And we have an independent state. And if our neighbors want to live peacefully, they can have one too, no problem. And if they don't want to live peacefully, then we're going to give them the war that they demand.
Andy, I know you keep saying like dismissing the theories, like the labor theories and such, as it not being important. It's not important if you want to appeal to law, but if you want to have the moral discussion, right, then that's absolutely necessary, right? That's my
Let's have a moral discussion. Great, let's have that moral discussion right now. What's your position?
On today's episode of the
Okay, so there's different ways that people can morally and ethically, depending on which position you want to take, how people can acquire land. Well, there's Locke's natural rights theory. Okay, so that means that
Make your point, please, without referring to something that you don't know what you're talking about.
okay, so Locke says that when you mix your labor with it, and nobody else's rights are violated, then that's your moral claim, right?
So everybody has a claim.
Do you disagree?
Does that mean, just so I understand, does that mean that the slaves who worked on the land in the South owned that land? Are you making a legal case that those slaves who worked in the South should get ownership of the land?
She was making a moral case. She was making a moral case
Thank you, Simon. Slaves in the South had every right to slaughter, to kill their slave masters. Forget land rights. We're talking about private property. You have that. Okay, and that's why you would have been a slave. And unfortunately, that's a pretty scary claim. Hold on. If someone's enslaving you, that's crazy. I don't even know what to say to that. You're trolling, right?
Norm, are you saying it's like morally speaking, forget legally, because legally those slaves would have been, apprehended and caught if they killed the slave masters, but morally, you should be on the side of slaves who are.
We're now down some ridiculous rabbit hole of the United States, as usual. So I want to hear a moral claim about Israel, not some bullshit about the United States.
Wait, but
I can't believe I just heard that. That's weird.
The moral case for Israel, the moral case for Israel is that there wasn't anything going on in the land. People came, people bought land, people developed the land.
Nobody says that. Nobody said that. Here's what they say, Simon.
No, those are Jews, but those are Jews that did that.
No, Israel is not saying that. Israel is saying there are.
This is property rights theory.
Why are you applying something that?
Because this is a moral case for why Jews own the land. This has nothing to do with like historical, like Jews have been here for 2,000 years. Like this is a moral case for why Jews live there and have developed the land and then have.
And she's trying to make the same argument as to why the Palestinians own the land.
I'm trying to have this conversation on Lermo. If you were ever patient to be able to have it, you should take notes from Simon.
Even if we take this route, we're going to end up with a moral case for Israel to defend their land. So I don't know why you are all scared about arguing this
I'm
way.
not afraid.
Because either way, whether you make the claim, the historical claim, or the biblical claim, or the moral case for private property, as Simon is saying, is like you're still going to end with Israel having the right to own that land. So there's no reason why you wouldn't need to entertain this.
We do own the land. That ship has sailed. It's ridiculous to even debate the existence of Israel. It's just dumb.
No one is debating the existence of Israel. I think that what she was trying to make the claim is like, okay, by comparing it to the slaves, it's like, okay, well, but even when people were being oppressed, and I think that's where she was wanted to go. I don't know, but I'm just making a wild guess, Bima. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe she was trying to make a comparison between slaves and Palestinians, saying, okay, if they are being oppressed, if they want to have access to the land, they need to fight for it and they need to defend it. Now, whether they can defend it or not, that is another question. Because Israel has defended their land. Israel has got the moral right to that land.
Wait, just for clarification, are you saying?
No,
Okay, because I saw the phone as well. Okay, so are you equating the occupation to like slaves?
No, I never said that. Someone else asked the question about slaves, and that was never my point. I was building off of what Pepe was saying, and what we're talking about is just the moral claim to land, the rightful ownership. It was we were bringing up the fact that it's not a good argument to make some moral claim to land because of your heritage. I
want to say it again because I was able to miss the first honor. I want to say it again because I was able to miss the first claim of this being a hard social moment is something that we can tell ourselves. It's not something we can use like others. Okay? And I'm saying it again and again and again. It's something that we can strive for. We can advocate for. This is Zionism. Go back to the land. But we cannot just come and say hello. I'm a Jew. This was my home. Please leave because it's ancestral homeland. So there's a difference between having a claim for yourself, which is legitimate. We believe that this is totally believe. All our history, all our religion, all our holidays, everything is to do with that place. But this is something we can say to ourselves only, not to others. That's it. So it's completely moral, but we're not using it on others. That's it. very important to understand the
It's
distinction.
not the
My
argument Israel
bromance
is
with
making,
Daniel
or
continues.
sorry, go
That
ahead.
is such an honest and wise and smart thing to say. Daniel, I high five you, man.
Wait, but honestly, I don't really hear any like real arguments being made to say like, oh yeah, like my great grandfather lived here, therefore this is mine. Like nobody really makes that argument, or not.
Well, some people make that argument, but whether that argument is what they are actually trying to, I mean, like whether that is the actual claim or the right way of defending it, like in the international arena, that's another question. As Daniel is saying, it's like, yeah, they can make that claim for themselves, but that is very weak if you try to present it as evidence, you know.
Yeah,
That's basically where I was getting at, because like I can't go to France or Canada and say, hey, my grandparents are from here. You assholes. They're gonna laugh at me. They're telling me to fuck off. And so like if I say like, oh, as a Catholic or as a Christian, I somehow I deserve to be here or there. Well, I would say I wouldn't honor a Christian argument, just like I won't honor a Jewish or a
But this is where
Muslim justification.
But did you listen to me for the fourth time that I...
Yes, you said that you only say it for yourselves, but unfortunately,
No, but this is where your thing is falling apart.
what happens is that we are always told this, like we're decolonizing, we're doing this and that.
Because the constitution of the state of Israel has nothing to do about like, oh, here is where my grandparents were. No, that had other connotations, other background, other context in which the Israel were given these
They're not
rights.
talking about the we were talking about.
Okay, continue.
We were talking about former nation and the original settlement
Yeah, well, that's not
in Israel before it was a
was
state.
given to them. It was given to them and they bought the land in many cases.
Yeah, I mean, let's not whitewash, but there was land taken. But I mean,
I'm sure that not 100% of the land was legally or whatever acquired. I'm sure that there must have been like a few occasions in which that was not the case, you know.
Not based on this claim, basically. Not based on like it's our Not
no, that's baseless. Yeah, that's baseless. Like, but the reality is that, yeah, I mean, like, Frank, this was just like Palestine, and you know, look at that, like, you know, like the map of like the four different, like, this was like Israel versus all of Palestine, and now it's completely versus those maps. That's just being dishonest and basic. Purchase land, cultivated land.
It's like what Shane said before.
Modern property rights theory.
It's like what Shane said before, that the Jews bought only 6 to 8% of the land. And then I asked Shane, out of what? And he said the entire land. Basically, he's including land that was not occupied by others, also not by Arabs, not owned by Arabs. Like, I think about a third or more than this land is desert. So I would like to ask if you can get a mention, say,
6 to 8%.
I would like to understand. I would like to understand if you have I would just like to understand if you have 6 to 8% compared to the total.
Because Dow means great.
No, it's 6 to 8% of what is today Israel.
Yeah, but we learn nothing out of this number. It's just like bullshit statistics.
No, whoa. What do you mean bullshit?
No, just like if you
Because
can
you're not
be
buying
more
the desert.
specific about like what constitutes that land. What are we talking about? Desert? Are we talking about
I said-
more populated?
I said the land that constitutes Israel today. This is very simple, right? It's really, really simple. The UN resolution suggested that the Arabs give up 55% of the land. Okay?
No, that's not true.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's not true. Listen,
What is
if I look at the map,
Sure.
and Jordan is way more than 50%, and then on top of Jordan, you you want
So-
at
so-
least 70%.
If I give you,
I know the math on this.
if I give you the citation, the UN resolution, would you agree to be wrong?
No, I would say it's manipulation of numbers because I can see the map and I could listen. Let's open the map, okay? And tell me if you think that Israel is the size of Jordan.
I will resume this debate another day. I gotta go watch my son play basketball, but thanks for the conversation.
Well,
Daniel.
speak to you, come back.
Thanks guys. Thank you.
The Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, founded in 1946 before the partition plan, was 78%. That left over 22% west of the Jordan. The partition plan gave 55% of the 22%, or if you multiply 0.55 times 0.22, you get 12.5% of the land of the total, or you get 55% of the land west of the Jordan.
So this is what I said was a manipulation of the numbers because it's 12% is not like 55%.
12.5% of the total, including the entire British mandate from the beginning. But we know, of course, Jordan was created and took away 0.78 of that.
Which is a plan also. And what's the difference between Jordanians and Palestinians exactly? There's no difference.
I want to hear your math again, if I could, Yaakov.
Sure. 1 equals the entire mandate when Britain got it, right?
Define those borders.
The British man, the Jordan and Israel.
The entire mandate.
What about Syria? No,
No, that was the French mandate.
Okay, good. All right, I
Just
got
the
it.
British mandate,
Okay.
including the portion, excluding the portion that was transferred from Britain to France, which was the Golan Heights. So you have essentially what is modern day Israel, Judea and Samaria, and the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Okay? That's one.
Yeah.
In 1946, the British unilaterally created the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, as they were allowed to under the mandate. That was approximately 0.78. Okay, so 1 minus 0.78 gives you 0.22 for the land west of the Jordan. Okay, so now in comes the UN, says we need to divide that up, and approximately 0.55% was given to the Jewish state, and 0.45% was given to the Arab state. Yes, but they called it the Arab state in the partition plan.
I want to point out that the reason why the Israelites got Jordan was because the House of Saud wasn't getting along with them. Their cousins, they were all living in Saudi Arabia, and in order to make them happy, in order to keep peace in the kingdom, so to speak, they moved the Hashemites from the Arabian Peninsula over to Jordan, gave them that whole area. They had no other claim to it. They had no other claim to Jordan.
No, I mean they had their claim was to the area, the Hejaz area, and Mecca and Medina, and that sort of the western portion of the Arabian Peninsula along the Red Sea. So when they gave that to the Sauds for helping out in World War I to placate the Hashemites, they said, okay, you get this area. We're going to call it the Hashemite Kingdom. And they still, to this day, they still have not, like every so often, there's this enormous flagpole in Aqaba, which is right next to Eilat. It's like a 200-foot flagpole, something like that. And a couple of years ago, they flew the Hashemite Kingdom flag on that flagpole, which is sort of like political theorists are trying to figure out why they do that every so often, why the king does it. It's very rare that he does it once every like 5 to 10 years. It's kind of, they think, his way of signaling, I still claim Mecca and Medina. Because he claims a direct ancestral tie to Muhammad.
Yeah, the Hashemites do claim that. Although if you talk to Jordanians, they'll say, everybody says they're related.
Yeah, literally everybody does.
Yeah. Because there's a Jordanian restaurant in New York that I go to, called Grover's Tent. And I went in there and said, oh, you guys are directly related to Muhammad. He said, yeah, everybody's related to Muhammad.
You got around there.
And by the way, some of the Jordanians have red hair. They're pale skinned with red hair and red beards.
I wonder where that came from.
Well, a friend of mine who's an Arab said from the Crusaders.
I think from the Jews.
I thought it was story that Muhammad had a red beard, and that's even why the Pashtun people.
They dye their beards red.
Yeah, they dye it.
I've seen that. I've seen a lot of it.
One of the three groups of people that have red hair are the Jews. The other is the Irish. I can't remember who the third is, but it's not the Arabs.
Did you hear me say last night that I slept with two women who have red hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of them named Andrea, both of them in the same year. And then never.
Same building?
No, different colleges.
Oh, different colleges.
When I transferred. And one of them had scoliosis. And they were both named Andrea. Should we try to figure out what the likelihood of that?
I mean, it's astronomical, as I said yesterday.
Well, maybe we can get a number. It'd be interesting. By the way, I think
You'd have to give me the schools and the population.
Happy birthday, Max Stone.
Why is that relevant?
The odds of you sleeping with a female student.
I mean, I could have slept with somebody who wasn't a student.
Yeah, but you kind of implied that she was a student. So.
When is the last day of the mayoral election? I say it starts today.
I mean, what's the day of the election?
The 4th.
Because it starts today, right?
Yeah.
Early voting, yeah. Yeah, mail-in voting starts.
So when does it happen? So it ends on the election day? When is that?
The 4th, I think, of November. It's a Tuesday usually.
Okay. Alright. Good luck.
Yeah, the city it's gonna win.
Trump gave another deadline to Hamas of 48 hours to release the dead hostages.
Oh gosh, just want another one of those.
How much is 48 plus 72?
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is what I mean by, like, capitulating to terrorists is fucking wild.
And the threat is, if not, then other countries that are involved in the peace process will intervene.
Daniel, did you see that story a couple days ago where an ATV from a kibbutz right on the border was stolen and found inside of Gaza?
No.
Someone snuck out, broke into a house, stole the keys, and drove it into Gaza, and they found it on social media. ATV, all-terrain vehicle, 4 wheels, you ride it on the dunes.
I heard it was Buttercup.
Let me see if I can find this. I was amazed that someone could sneak, after October 7th, that someone could still sneak through the fence. I'll find out if this is what Israeli media is saying about it. Yeah, here we go. Put it in the chat. There you go. You can read all about it.
So let's say each college had 3,000 students, which is about right.
Well, 51% of them would be women.
Like Okay. So we're gonna have 3,000 population.
Yeah, but are your proclivities towards people the same age? Like, we can get rid of some years, right? You would not be dating, like, if you were seen, like, what year college? Okay, what year? Okay, but were you what year were you? Freshman. Okay, so that would get rid of, I would say, the seniors, the juniors, and seniors and juniors. It would leave the freshmen and the sophomores, right?
Now we've gone down to 1,500.
Okay. 1,500 women or 1,500 students?
Oh,
Because I'm not assuming you're gay.
700, I'm not. 750 women. So the likelihood of, out of those 750,
it's not uniform because there's something like they have to sort of have the same outlook. Like it's probably not like evenly distributed. Oh, really? You didn't have conversations with her? You didn't try to find someone? You were just trying to screw your way through college? You didn't care about like political outlook?
the criteria was that they liked me. Then,
I don't want to work anymore. Because I'm working every day.
You might as well just turn it down. Okay, so what did we say? There was how many students?
Well, okay, so we said 3,000 in each college. So that's the half of the 1,500.
1,500 now, divide that by 4 and then multiply by 2. Gives you the total population set.
But divided by 2, so 750.
Yeah, same thing, yeah. 700, so 1 over 750 times 1 over 750. Well, actually, no. What percent of women have red hair?
That's a question we have to look up.
Right. So you have to take that 750 and say what percent. Let me look that up. Because that will reduce it substantially. You see how this works, right?
Yeah, well, we're trying to define the population. By the way, I think tonight is trick or treat night. Because it's a Saturday night. Because I've seen people trick or treat. You just got modded.
Okay. 1 to 2%. So let's call it 2%.
Okay.
Okay.
1.5.
Okay, yeah, but it's easier in math to do 1% and multiply by 2.
750, right?
1% is 750 multiplied by 2.
So that's 7.5.
So you got 15, right? So 1 divided by 15 times 1 divided by 15.
Is 1 divided by 30.
Right? Well,
yeah. Am I wrong about that?
So I'm just checking. It's been a long day.
Or is it a 15th of a 15th?
No, it's a 15th times a 15th. What is a 15th? 15th is 0.06.
You could do 15 times 15 to get the fraction.
0.003. So 3 thousandths. 3 thousandths.
So I had the likelihood.
You had 3. Wait, let's see. Tenths, hundreds, thousands. 3 10,000ths. No, sorry, 3 tenths, hundreds, thousands. Yeah, 3 thousandths. That's pretty slim.
What, 3 in 1,000 likelihood of that happening?
Yeah. Exactly.
3 in 1,000. Huh. I would say they were both pretty bad. I think everybody's good looking at that age. Almost everybody.
I liked when we figured that out.
Oh, good. Dan in the audience says that Samaritans are known for red hair.
used Jewish people, but what's the? I know it's Scottish, Jewish, and what else, Dan?
Well, you
What are the
mentioned
Scots?
Samaritan.
Yeah.
Do you know
But
who else has-
Scotland and Ireland.
Do you know who else has red hair? I mean, it's a product of mixed races. So, for example, a lot of Bosnian Muslims have red hair. Interestingly.
Yeah, because they were a lot of Muslims came up north and
I believe
had their way.
Slavs mixed with Turks. That's what I think they are.
I thought the Levant had light hair and light eyes going back thousands of years ago.
I consider them olive skinned in general. I was mentioning that the Crusaders
I mean, the mutations were, it's my understanding, for light eye color and hair color were throughout your, southern and western Asia.
Okay, so here I looked it up.
Even prominent in Europe.
So it's apparently a gene mutation called the MC1R gene, melanocortin-1 receptor. 13% of redheads come from Scotland, 10% come from Ireland, 4 to 6% come from Wales and England, 2 to 6% come from Scandinavia, specifically Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, not Finland. 1 to 3% from Western Europe, less than 1% from Eastern and Southern Europe, trace amounts less than 0.5%, Middle East, i.e. the Levant and Iran. Central Asia is rare, less than 0.5%. So, yeah, not from Asia.
No, I was saying historically.
No, I'm saying this is historical.
Yeah,
They tested ancient mummies from the Tarim Basin.
I thought so. They find carbon dated remains, and in Asia
So
and in Levant they have light eyes. It was not a rare thing to have back then.
I thought you were saying redhead people come from Central Asia.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying I think that a lot of these traits, just light hair, light eyes in general, I think it was even more common in outside of Europe at one point.
I don't know. It's not my area. Daniel, did you see the report I put in the chat? You didn't.
Oh, what happened?
Someone snuck into Israel and stole his ATV.
If you're not familiar with it, it's one of the best burgers you can get in New York City.
2 days ago.
Legend named George Mons.
And it was found on video footage. Very distinct. A soldier had it. It had very distinct markings.
And one big difference with this burger
Yeah, they brought it back and they stole it from Israel.
And after we put those patties up,
And,
the onions are going to cook down really
and
well.
they brought it into Gaza.
From cooking, while also packing the nature flavor.
Yeah, it was some story 2 days ago. I was wondering if you read about this. If it made the news in Israel.
Place the potato ones on top so those can steam while the others finish cooking. And then all we have to do
This is from
take
Jerusalem
chopped
Post, but I
onions,
saw
put it on
it.
the
I read
And
some
what you
of
see is definitely what you get with this burger. He doesn't use any condiments on his onion burger, which is definitely a change for me. So let's see.
But I am just so surprised that someone could sneak through the fence 2 years after October 7th.
No, it's
It
not.
was the day before Yom Kippur, so it was the day before Yom Kippur, October 1st.
So I
No,
found
it was stolen on 7th of. Hold on.
No. This is October this year.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, let me see what this is.
Moshav Claim. I don't even know that one.
Yeah, this is why I also don't know it. I want to Google it. Why is my computer so slow with this stuff? What's wrong?
trying to.
I guess it's on the hotel, but just I'm trying to see.
Yeah, that's pretty far from. Wait, hold on. You found it on the map? I can't.
Yeah.
How far from the border?
Where is the measuring tool? Not so far. But
How
let's
did all
see.
of them break through the border like 2 years after all this shit? My Google puts it near Kitover, which is really far from Gaza.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that the thieves came from Gaza. You know, it could have been stolen by gangs in Israel and sold to Gaza. The question is, how did it?
He said he came back from shul. You think the story's fake in that regard?
No, why?
Well, I meant just that it was someone didn't break in and go into Israel and steal it. That it was stolen in Israel and sold to them.
No, I'm saying that the thieves, maybe they didn't come in from Gaza, but the thieves were living in Israel, and it was sold to Gaza. There are a lot of times that there are cars that are ending up in Gaza that are stolen, and then they can't take them apart in Gaza.
There was another article that said that the keys were stolen. Hold on. Where is it? It says, on Yom Kippur, I returned from synagogue and discovered that the ATV had been stolen.
Yeah, it wasn't stolen by Gazans. It was, they could track it.
Yeah, but how does someone even get through the fence from it's an army guy? Like, it went through a checkpoint?
No, I don't think, hold on, let me see. But I see that they kind of tracked him and they saw him in Israel and then they saw that he's close to, hold on, let me read it. Yeah, he was smuggled into Gaza. How did they smuggle it?
Yeah, that's the question. Like, how did you get? Okay, that's a lot better than someone left Gaza and came into Israel and stole it. But
yeah,
how does someone get it into Gaza? Paid off some army guy?
And probably there are also like maybe there are still holes in
That really is very scary.
Feel the tension melt away with it.
I see a reaction from the police.
It says turns out there are still gaps in the fences during the ceasefire. Hamas is collecting powerful vehicles and tools.
Well, this is like the statement of the sister.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not. It's just reading it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like going into Gaza is different than coming in from Gaza.
Yeah, but still, you would think it would be pretty like.
Yeah,
like I can understand a tank driving into Gaza. That makes sense, but an ATV. You see what it means? You know what an ATV is? I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Tractor. Like a tractor, but
yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like tractor, but it's not a tractor.
No, but we call it tractor. It's like something that 16-year-olds can drive or 14-year-olds. I don't know what is that minimum.
What's the word for tractor?
Tractor.
Tractor. Okay.
Very easy. See, almost learned Hebrew now. Tractor.
Yeah, I'm trying. A lot of the modern devices are just take the English word.
Well, not computer, but yes, the rest.
What's computer?
Machshev.
Machshev?
Machshev.
Machshev.
From calculation, from cheshbon.
Yeah, to make calculations.
The owners of Paddington Bear want the frightening puppet used on Spittlebridge delivered to them or destroyed. Paddington and Company with Studio Canal.
That's cool.
The owners of Paddington.
I got dinner. After your dinner.
Quickly, without hesitation. I have the right.
Okay, take care.
Ciao. Buddy.
If you think your child may have autism, it's important to act quickly. At Action Behavior Centers, we want to reduce barriers to
What is between us? This misunderstanding is over.
Is it? Your misunderstanding is not with me.
My torment has lifted. Darkness has passed.
Your torment is of your own making, soul. You are not abandoned by the Most High, but you abandon him and his word in pursuit of your own glory. Why would you believe he has granted you mercy?
I won this battle without you. God favored me. He always has. He does still. And now I have a new champion. Slayer of giants. Why chose? All without you, Sarah.
Chicago is a great city, but now the world believes it too.
For unprecedented 8 years straight count.
So how many people work at the Rivian manufacturing plant here in West Normal? Well, we don't know, honestly. Rivian used to tell us it was about 8,000 people. That was enough to make it McLean County's second largest employer. But now the electric automaker is no longer willing to say how many people work at their plants in West Normal. Government data suggests it could be as many as 1,000 people fewer than
Always and ever.
I'm just fucking liar.
We have a very good chance of winning, and it's going to take home.
could be as many as 1,000.
Into property taxes is because a neighborhood which has
But I'm always on the right side. I still got a lot of.
I know.
What TV shows would we have seen you on?
Trans video, I get it.
I'll put a link in the chat of movies and TVs that I've been on. Hold on. That sounds cool.
I would like to see that.
I do too, surprisingly.
This is gonna be fun.
I put a link in the chat. Go check it out.
I don't know about you, I can't make that link work.
Is there a link in the chat? Let's see. I don't see a link in the chat. I see a link in the chat. Oh, I see what's going on.
I see a paperclip.
Slow. You're a little slow. Stupid ass. Stupid ass.
I was really looking.
Yeah, don't care that much, honestly.
Alright, I've lost my curiosity.
Yeah. Now, can you make sure the link shows what your work before you got it snipped and after? Because if I want to do the research, I want to see if it affected your ability.
Pause.
This is like fucking Danny comes in here to be abused.
It's interesting. Like, is that more common than I know?
Why?
Oh yeah.
Why are you so abusive? It's like second nature. Why are you so ready to be abusive? It's second nature to you.
You probably
And women, especially women that were born as men.
fucking facts. Huh.
You must be a bunch of Nazis.
Absolutely.
You're only saving grace as you're not a blind.
Stop being Nazis.
Dude, if you were a fucking blind person, I would have kicked you already.
We've had our share of blind.
Acting like Nazis.
Ooh.
Are there
The tranny's gonna come try to trigger the Jews by calling them Nazis. Ooh.
You said abusive. Nazis.
How edgy and progressive.
So progressive. You must have voted for Kamala.
Stop being abusive. Nazis. Nazis are
Romney Harris.
Hey, dickhead. Or dick between your legs. You can leave.
Abusive Nazis.
I prefer to be called a Yahtzee because sometimes people win with me.
And they love riding him.
Well, I don't know how that's related to my metaphor.
Because you're a little yacht.
Oh, I was thinking Yahtzee, like the dice game, but sure.
Man?
People, ride me, baby, ride me.
Ride me like a yacht.
I'm looking at a yacht right now. People are riding it. It's white. I'm like, wait.
Yacht.
So they're riding bovines?
Pick a
La
fucking
la 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 la. Points world. La 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 la. Points world.
Mute the music. I will tower.
I wish I could make a song with Points world using Elmo's voice. How frustrating it must be to go from room to room just to seek abuse from gender normative people. Is it because you're jealous?
You have to unmute the top point taken.
Use your dick. It's probably hard right now with the way we're talking. Anyways, we don't have to center the train.
Dude, they fucking love coming in here though.
We only have two, and I actually like the other one. I think we only have two. Is there a third one?
That one that came in earlier that got booted that was fucking playing music for a while.
Yeah, I actually like her. I don't know. Sometimes she trolls. Nice enough person, but she's not being disruptive.
Who's the other one?
found out like Philip was a tranny or something.
Dude, you know, I've been doing a lot of thinking about Frederick actually being a neo-Nazi, and I think he probably is.
Oh, he could be.
Yeah.
Who knows? Speaking of neo-Nazis, welcome to my stage from Germany, Daniel. Daniel's World. La 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 la, la 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 la. Daniel's World.
Jeff, I think you figured out what you need to do tonight. You need to go to karaoke.
We haven't been able to find a decent karaoke spot here. But it is a good idea. Maybe I will go check out a spot before I go to my normal place. I think I'll do that. Go have a drink there, go to my place a little later. And actually, food there is decent. I may do that.
Today, Congressman John Kitover running in the Senate. Down.
Seems like you forgot again. So let me remind you. You've made it through things you thought would break you. You've stood alone in rooms where no one noticed your pain. You've smiled with a heavy heart, just to make others comfortable.
And then I masturbated.
Masturbated. This woman's 50.
Others comfortable.
See how that's possible.
Open the damn window, coward! You cut me off!
Driving, babe, don't roll it down.
I'm not. You hear me? You think you can just sit there? I'll bust this thing.
Sir, you're being recorded. Step away from
I don't care if you're
Just
recording.
keep it.
Of course she's a vegan. Just my luck.
She's a vegan.
Elmo's World.
vegan barbecue?
No, definitely not. I smell meat. And this is a voice app, so I doubt it's that point taken is meat I smell. You all got very quiet. What the hell?
The drugs kicked in.
Sounds like it.
Give me yoga.
What, second time today?
Yep. Morning, and now I'm doing it again. Well, that's too early.
Crucial it is to have intelligence, the best possible intelligence.
Always. And ever, Scott Jones.
And I'm Bill Bohr, and this is continuing the trend which Providence seems to have led.
This stunning, futuristic yet abandoned home looks like something out of a sci-fi movie with its bold.
I have a gold bracelet that I got.
Were you a
Just sort of got weird all of a sudden. Can you tell when it's not normally weird? I mean, isn't it always a little weird?
Or have to be able to accept those. So that's gonna be fucking damn near impossible. So, and there's also a dollar amount, right? So they're gonna have like what, 1 million micro donors.
Yeah, it's kind of it veers into conspiracy theory territory at that point.
What's that?
You talking about like 1 million micro donors? It turns into conspiracy theory territory at that point.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning that if you got a bunch of people donating money, it's like a conspiracy because
Nature
what
does
they gonna
not
get
hurry.
for it?
Get it?
Well, you can't have one or two large donors because the dollar.
Yeah, but once you start talking about millions, when you start talking about millions of people, why isn't your
Recently,
neighbor
pictures of
donating?
Triple H and
Why
Stephanie
isn't like
McMahon on vacation started trending, and some fans were quick to say Triple H is out of shape. Let's pause for a second. This is the same man who gave his body, his youth, and his entire life to WWE. Today, what we see is not out of shape. What we see is a man who finally gets to live as himself, not the character, not the bodybuilder. Paul Levesque.
I don't want terms.
Got enough terms on Clubhouse.
Celebrities who were forever forgotten after their illnesses. Number one, Lark Voorhees. Lisa Turtle from Saved by the Bell was iconic in the 90s, but after publicly struggling with mental illness, Hollywood distanced itself. She's still around, still talented, but rarely given a second chance. Number two,
by not saying at first the Democrats came up with the bill and the Republicans countered it. You try to make it seem like they came up first. But Amari, you're not that good with the shit, bro.
Well, I can tell you what I said, but thank you. I know I have a body double somewhere. Thank you, Haitian. But with that being said, First Lady, right? With that being said, what I said is that they had a chance, because we were talking about the subject was military pay. They had a chance to pay military, not selective military, the military, this week. And they did it. That's just the bottom line to it. But I don't care what the homegirl says. You know, I love this girl. I love this Holly Berry military girl.
You're not telling.
Listen, Holly.
That's not my name. My name is not Holly.
I mean, you got the Holly Berry cut, you know, so you got the little Holly Berry going on.
That's
So
not my name, and that's not my name. Thank you very much.
Rezzy Belly, you know.
No, my name is Rez. Thank you very much.
Okay, Rez.
I'm gonna call you Amari, and you're gonna call me Rez.
I'll call you Rez, you call me Amari.
Thank you, and that's what I call you.
Just don't call me Tyrone or late for dinner.
I won't do either one. Here we go.
Fair enough.
But that's not the truth.
Corn Bob. Give me the Bob cut.
You say maybe you should try to call. I know you call. In the parking lot.
To bring that point out since the other day. But Amari,
This might be Chicago's most unique gift shop tucked inside an old 1930s pharmacy. It's located right on busy Ashland Avenue. I've passed this place so many times. When I finally went in, I was kind of mad at myself for not going in sooner. This place is...
okay, so here's the thing. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna, so who's the question is who's supporting on this? When they kicked out all the news outlets notice that they gave to them stating that they only can report on what they want to report. So basically, anything that's coming out of the Pentagon, anything that's coming out of Congress or whatever, it's basically what they want to come out, how they want it to come out. Well, why are you looking at it? Oh, so you're not following that part either. Okay, got that.
What is going on?
It's true, because the propaganda news is all we're getting now. Hello? Thank you, Catherine.
No, it's not Catherine Slay or Matt.
Call her by name. Don't miss me.
Sorry, man.
No, you're fine. You're fine. My name is not even under my thing. So.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, but look, at the end of the day, we gotta figure this out. I think the Democrats and Republicans, they can open the government and then have a good
No,
faith
but
conversation.
really call it what it is. The Republicans can open the government. The Democrats can't open the government when they don't have majority.
Oh, Fetterman said it this morning that he thinks they should just break the filibuster, and
That's a shit.
he's also very popular. But he's very popular. He's very popular.
Inauguration in shorts and a sweatshirt.
Yeah, but he's very popular as a Democrat in a purple state. So you should actually look how
We don't like him.
he flipped the Republican seat. Like that's
We don't
part.
care.
He's not a Democrat.
He's not a Democrat.
He's like a Joe Manchin. It's common sense. He's like,
There's no common sense in this. Oh my God. Like, what's going on? Can I lay? All right, so what's next? I'm sorry, Haitian. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. These people got me going crazy. Please continue, sir.
Nah, Maury, you really lost with the shit, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'll be lost in the sauce, but Fetterman is a good senator. He
That's the thing. He can't even fucking come to work properly dressed.
He doesn't have to.
Black ass
Right.
like that.
He looked like a dirtbag.
He doesn't have to.
Discrimination.
That's discrimination. When
That's
Zelensky
discrimination.
comes in his daggone uniform on him not coming dressed up. But that's discrimination. Amazing. You see how they're calling the kettle black? I don't
I
understand.
think that's wrong. I think Zelensky could show up whatever he wants. I'm thinking like, what does it matter? It's about what you come. It's about the content of your character.
But that's what y'all president said. He should have came to the White House in a suit in the middle of them. Because
The president's an individual, Rez.
Right, but y'all president said he should have came to his White House in a suit in the middle of
You know what I think it is? You guys think everything he says we're supposed to bow down. I think I understand the problem.
No, I don't think that you should do that. What I'm saying is when you say that, but I didn't hear you say that that was discrimination when that side was saying it. It's fine, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. I didn't hear. I didn't say that you didn't say that. I'm saying that I did not hear any pushback.
No, because I probably wasn't in the space, but when that report, I hate that report of that guy. He's an idiot. I don't even know his name, but he's like, he got a big tomato face. He's always asking the weirdest ass questions in these White House, like, kind of like pop-up conference, and he's an idiot. And so you heard it here, Haitian. He's an idiot, and I think Zelensky can wear what he wants. You heard it here. You guys hear it in the bottom? People in the back? He can wear whatever he wants. I'll go on mute now.
I need $50. Come on now, what's going on? Every time.
Now you're trying to mimic me. Now you're trying to be funny, First Lady. That's all that's about.
I want to be just like you.
We good. Be better than me. I'm just
Hey, Maury, Red is black though.
Yeah, but she had light bright. That don't count.
Hey, not too much on my light brightness because I'm still black all day long. I'm a die black.
I don't know if y'all can handle that, you know what I mean? You a Trump?
They ain't about that life. They ain't about that life, bro.
Ain't about that.
They ain't about that life, bro.
Rez is the original, school days. She could talk about it. You know what I'm saying? She GM school days.
Damn, Maury, no school days?
I'm black.
You right. You the one, you be hiding from your family, so, okay, all right, so yeah.
Right, I don't got to
There y'all go, man.
I ain't got to hide from my family.
family thinks like you. There's no diversity of thought.
Bro,
When everybody votes when they vote one way.
I'm a grown man. You're an adult. There's no reason for me to lie to my family about my fucking beliefs. That's crazy.
Bro, you see how y'all act on Clubhouse to strangers? Y'all would look. I don't know if he's still
Wait a
wrong,
minute.
but
Wait, what'd you just say?
Talking about the hidden part?
Are you talking about how you act with strangers on Clubhouse?
like
And you're about to criticize other people? I just want to make sure what the setup is.
y'all want to kill people.
My mother is no longer on this earth, and my mother liked Reagan, and we did not agree about that. So what are you talking about?
Nah, but you know how people get violent.
About abuse.
Amari, tell us the appropriate way to act towards strangers on
That's weird.
Clubhouse.
Okay, man. Why don't you just go on mute after what I thought TC buried you earlier. How are you digging out that grave?
Sure.
Who gave you a damn
Tell us what appropriate looks like.
man?
Come on.
TC,
Amari, you pay the man, Amari. You gonna be fucking roasting me for the next, I don't know, till you pay
bro, I have no shame. If y'all don't know anything about me yet, you're gonna understand me. I do not care.
We know you don't care. You be selling newspapers.
I have
You
no
know
shame.
that.
I have zero
We
shame.
know that. You be selling newspapers, so we know that. We know that.
pictures, Amari. We kinda know.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll.
To the left. To the left.
Yeah, I would like this space to be non-REP conversation if that's possible. And a picture of my
You
face.
just said you don't give a F. So why do you
I don't even know why Aaron keeps saying it.
you want us to talk about your manhood?
I wasn't naked in the picture.
That's boyhood.
I didn't know what
Stand on your business and your Tootsie Roll.
Oh shit! You wasn't naked?
No, I mean I could actually post a picture of what it looked like if y'all want to see.
Oh, you gonna get that SF for that?
Nah.
Okay, so you saying so you in complete denial about this? You saying that you didn't send no Richard pictures?
Not to that person. He thinks that there's more people.
Damn, who you sending out these pictures to? And then you get paid. You got Clubhouse?
Your picture in the Discord? That's all I need to know.
Aaron got the.
You got OnlyFans on Clubhouse? What's going on?
Aaron just got the story mixed up. But yeah, I mean there's a couple of pictures out there, but not the one that's.
Damn, a couple pictures. You were married?
Remember the guy that was just telling us that.
Lord, that's how the conservatives put down.
I'm not a conservative. I'm a progressive conservative.
You got a
And I'm a Trump supporter.
I thought you said you wasn't a Trump supporter.
No, I'm not mad that I'm a Trump supporter. And Trump made it okay for you to not to be a cookie cutter no more. So it's like when Jesus died, that's for our sins. When Trump got elected, he got rid of the cookie cutter in the grand old party. So you can be like you can be like you can be yourself.
Right. Something, right.
No, I know swinging. No. That's some of that song. No one's that now. I don't think you guys see this. I'm saying you guys don't understand the Trump supporters. Like we're not cookie cutters no more.
We're Democrats. They're all brain dead.
They wear all those red hats at the same time so they can be unique together.
We're progressive.
That's what it is.
We're progressive that don't like Democrat policies.
No, you can't put progressive and Trump in the same conversation, sir. You are crazy.
Y'all party, fought to keep Backpage alive. I mean, I don't really want to hear from y'all.
Fought to keep what?
Backpage. Remember when Nancy
But y'all got grinder all over the. Y'all got grinder.
Rob, this is a true story. Nancy Pelosi, when Trump wanted to shut down Backpage, she said that, and I'm paraphrasing that, it's going to hurt sex workers and shit like that. Like they're going to have to go in the back, like it's not going to be safe for them no more when he wanted to shut down trade.
If you're progressive,
Hold up, Chris. So, Maury, how is that incorrect, though?
I don't know. I don't really care. But
that's what I'm saying.
So why are you getting on me though?
But you just why you getting on me though? Because you brought it up.
Hold on, Rob.
I brought it up because y'all should be open to
to my expressions.
Amari. So again, you're talking shit about something, and then you say you don't care. So, and then you say that she did it because of safety. So why shouldn't she do it for over safety? Why wasn't safety a concern anyway?
I don't know. You're asking me a question. I don't have the answer for that question. I'm just brought up a point. Maybe it might have been a previous point, but I just brought up a point.
Yeah, so when you bring it up, that's gonna add in other nuances to the conversation.
For sure, bro.
Which is, I'll go back to, I just heard you say that you were, did you not say you were a progressive?
Progressive conservative.
All right, wouldn't it be a progressive idea to, like, let's say, let's keep sex workers safe?
Yeah, 100%.
That could be a public health crisis. That's a very progressive thing to think about.
I'm okay with that.
Like shutting down Backpage, it definitely.
As long as it's adult, look, adults can do what they want to do. I'm okay with adults doing it. Like I'm not that nigga. Look, when I was young, I used to watch HBO Real Sex. You can't tell me about shit. Like I was one of those when we had the squiggly lines and you see little porn. Y'all remember that? Yeah. Like when the black box. I was one. So yeah. So I'm not one of those Republicans. I don't care.
Well, most Republicans are one of those Republicans because they are freaky.
Yeah, part, Ron.
I don't know what they do, but I'm telling you, I'm open about my.
You know what they do?
All right, let's come out of the personal stuff.
Yeah, first lady.
I don't know. Anyway, listen.
Thank you. Now y'all know.
If you have an OnlyFans, listen, I'm helping you promote. Go ahead and put your OnlyFans link in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to see any additional pics that he may have, go ahead and click the link.
There's no pics. There's no pics that I'm going to share.
I'm just teasing.
I know. I am a changed man, and I've been saved, and
You've been delivered.
I've been
Come on now.
Liberation. I'm no longer blessing y'all inch by inch anymore. Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute, huh? So you got your stuff cut? What's going on? Okay.
So Amari's been delivered, but the rest of MAGA is a little deliverance, right? That's how this is working. That's the MAGA side, the paper side.
Okay. So hold up. What's going on with the crypto guy, Omari? Now, how do you feel about that? Do you think that it was okay for him to, pardon this guy?
The Asian dude, that he didn't know who it was. He was pretending that he lied about. I guess look, I don't know the story what he did. I heard it was pretty bad, like what he did, and so if I'm going based off of what I've heard, his crime was, it doesn't sound like a good pardon, but maybe because he did some deals with him, and maybe he might have did a hookup. I'm thinking that was a hookup pardon. This is what I've heard from family members, that if you're in prison, hold on real quick. What I would say, what I heard, if you pay in the Trump administration, you can get out of prison if you got the right dollar amount. That's what I'm hearing.
I told y'all.
And actually, I have a cousin in prison right now that's trying to come up with $2 million to get out.
I told y'all this earlier. It's 7 pardons. I told y'all this.
Look up pardon is the craziest thing I've heard on Clubhouse today. Like that's just a normal thing. Look up pardon.
But I told y'all this earlier. It's a pay if you got the right dollar amount, you can pay for a pardon.
When did you say this, Ross? You say I didn't hear you. I've been in the room with you all day. When did you say this?
I said this earlier. I said, look, Wayne paid for a pardon. I said, NBA Youngboy paid for a pardon. I had this whole.
I think I remember that. I think I remember that, but I didn't know it was about a pardon. I thought you were talking about something else.
Yeah, I was talking about pardons. I did.
Hey, Rez might be one. Look, Rez might be one of the smartest people on the stage, but man, don't piss her up. The crash is like that helicopter in Orange County.
That was nasty work. That was nasty work.
He wanted attention for that one. Should just ignore him with that one.
See, I did good. I didn't respond.
You went on mute.
All right, so nobody else got nothing to say. The MAGA people don't have nothing to say about this Crypto King being released. So we got Santos out. We got the Crypto Kings comes out. We got January 6th. Who else we getting out next?
Diddy
and
coming
Diddy
out next. Watch what I say. They working the numbers. Watch what I say.
MAGA don't want Diddy out. That would be bad look for MAGA. Like MAGA will that would be.
They do not care. It is all about the numbers.
It's not working for him. It's not working for him to do that. Diddy's time is short anyway. So, and they talking about Diddy going to like a halfway house anyway. So he might spend 6 months in prison.
Well, I'll make sure. I'm waiting to see. I think y'all gonna have a lot of news and politically correct because you guys gonna have the Chinese the meeting this week, and I think that's gonna be some fireworks there. I remember I think someone said the Indonesian president said that he's not safe. So look for, I don't know what's gonna happen this week, but it might not be a safe place for the president to be at. So.
No, nobody was complaining. Look at you, coming here prejudging. No, nobody was complaining. It was a question, sir. Now you done woke up from your nap and you all grumpy, and you need your Metamucil. So, got it.
Hey, but I was talking about Res brought up a good point that I didn't think about. You don't see the mob bosses, and I didn't even think about it. You don't see the mob. I forgot that family even exists. I thought it was only on Harlem or Godfather, the Godfather of Harlem, whatever, where you hear about these families. But you're right. That shit is crazy. There's not one picture of them being arrested.
They say some of them too.
They're arrested. They didn't show their pictures.
They didn't show the pictures though, but they showed the black pictures.
It's really messed up. But here's something else though. This is extended into college basketball. You believe it?
What about hockey? They got hockey too? Hockey also?
I just saw the extension into college basketball, but they probably all gonna fall like cards.
I think someone said LeBron.
That's cool.
But think about it.
It's the natural thing that happens when you've got this much sports betting going on. I mean, and there's bets on everything, right? Like that's one of the craziest things in the story was the whole Terry Rozier part is that he just left a game early with an injury, and there was a prop bet on him not completing the game. It was probably like really, really like crazy odds on it too, because that's not a normal thing to have happen, like betting on someone's injuries. And so you could basically do something that looks super normal, and someone can make a ton of money off it. So of course that's going to happen, especially with these college kids who aren't making any money.
Yeah, when we start seeing the Texas quarterback throwing those bad passes, I kind of wonder. He was good last year. Now he's just playing garbage.
You know what? This answers my question about Kawhi Leonard. Remember he used to always fall down and get hurt all just all of a sudden, like in critical games and stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, everybody's gonna go back and look at clips now and start.
Already clips out on Rozier. It's hilarious.
Really?
Hey, who's that basketball player that was dating LeBron's mom, and now he's like homeless on drugs?
What?
Oh, okay. Yeah, they need to get him. He probably got all this too. They get his mind right.
He's separate. They be separating them NBA players. Y'all ever watch Separate on Apple TV? Being practicing at the games, one mind, and then when they leave, they get their regular outside of work mind back.
Yo, my little warrior heart gonna be broken if they get those Warriors, man. It's gonna be real.
Exactly. But they're so clean. There's no way. There's no way, right? Sure. Maybe Jordan Poole when he was there.
To be so good and bad at the same time.
The Warriors won last night?
We got whooped. Trailblazers hit every single three that they wanted. It was insane. Yeah. But we're 2-1 though. We had an amazing game against against the Nuggets, amazing game against the Lakers. So.
Okay, did the Dodgers win? Did the Dodgers win last night?
They got blown out. I mean, blown out.
But those Japanese pitchers weren't pitching for him, right?
Imagine that. It's going to take Japanese pitchers to win it for the Dodgers, or it's going to be a Canadian team winning the World Series.
But they're not even Canadian, though, right? Most of them are Americans on a Canadian team and Dominicans.
It's still in Canada.
It's just a team, yeah.
But Warren, they're probably mostly Dominicans if you're gonna go like that. You know?
Trump's about to double those 10% tariffs to 20% if the Blue Jays win. He's going to say that it's just a
I'm interested to see how the World Cup goes. I'm hoping that by that time ICE will be done with their mission and that things, you know, they got as many people out that were the bad ones. Leave grandma and grandpa, the abuelas alone, and let the country go back to normal. Bring some calmness back.
LA,
to the nations.
and then going to LA.
Nah, there's no need to go back in LA. I think LA learned their lesson already.
No, I'm talking about the Olympics. Well, no, that's the Olympics.
Oh, the Olympics, LA, yeah.
Yeah, they gotta. It's not just the illegal Olympics thing. It's the homeless thing. So they found out that they've been scheming homeless funds that were supposed to like go to put up housing and stuff, millions of dollars. That they didn't. No housing was built, even though all that money was put up for the homeless. You know, so that's gonna be a big problem when all those come in. That's a headache.
So, Rez, what are you gonna do? Okay, so Rez, you're real good at economics, and so explain the stock market. Why is the stock market at its high, in your opinion? But even though inflation and everything else is going up.
So, Rob Marty, are you being serious right now?
Yeah, because I mean, if I try to speak on it, I just want to make sure Rez talk about it first, so I can make sure.
Okay,
I don't say the wrong thing.
I can actually address that, but go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah, because you up there too. You up there in NorCal, so you got finance people.
So the stock market is speculative, and it's getting more speculative as we go, right? We're having all kinds of financial instruments that are not based on the value of the companies or even what they have in terms of market capitalization. For instance, the top, say, 10 companies are very undercapitalized to their actual value, which is like 30x or more, right? So a company like Apple, right, has one of the companies with the most cash, has $141 billion, but yet it's ranked worth 3-point-something trillion dollars, right? And also you see Nvidia, right? Nvidia only has like $50 billion in cash, right? But they're ranked with $4+ trillion. So you're really not seeing the correlation of what the company actually generates in terms of revenue right now versus what it might, what its value is on the market. Now this may change for sure in the industry, but obviously we're gonna have some winners, got some looters, and we're gonna have some that are reaching that don't quite, capture the target they're shooting for. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That was really good explanation. Why y'all don't let a left talk more when y'all get into that when it talks about economics?
A left is, he wishy-washy. Sometimes he be on point. Next, you know what I'm saying?
That means he's out too. That's what that means.
Let's face it.
Stop, Jason.
But he often is very busy hitting those gifts over and over and over again.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
And he's wish-washy.
Washing gifts, that's right. I be washing my gifts.
A left sometimes, he be a left, But, thank you, a left. When he's good, he's great, okay? But, what's next? Alright, so, okay, well, you know what, Jason, so you wanted to be a part of the conversation. So do you think that, or what do you think about Trump pardoning the crypto king?
I
that's a lie because if you look at the numbers, Biden only pardoned 195 people, and what you call it, Trump has pardoned over 2,000 people. So the numbers don't lie. Let's stop.
Well, I don't know the numbers specifically.
I'm telling you the numbers. So stop.
Okay, so good. The thing is, he said he wouldn't even pardon his son before he did it. He said he wasn't gonna do it. He said he wasn't gonna do it. And he was saying like, man, they pardoned all the J6s. We're gonna
If you don't pardon your son,
we're gonna take a stance against pardoning people. And then January 19th happens. The bouncing, the pardoning, and all that stuff.
but what happened before that? What happened before that? What precipitated the pardons?
I don't know. You tell me. You kind of wanted to tell me what I did.
The threat of us all being in court and wasting taxpayers' money trying to prosecute people for nothing.
Like it's happening now.
I'm talking about politically motivated court proceedings.
That is correct.
You talking about,
Yes.
You talking about where they pick the defendant before they find the crime? Pick the defendant first and find the crime? That's what you're saying?
We're saying like you saw with Comey and Loretta Lynch. So you know what she's talking about.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but Trump makes the same argument that was done to him. He was told if you didn't do nothing, you ain't got nothing to worry about. That's what he was told.
But he did something. That's the problem. And these people didn't do anything. And now we're exactly after how much money has been spent. After how much money has been spent. Money that people need to eat.
So if they get some of them guilty, are y'all gonna say
Guilty of what? Well, guilty of what? Let me say this to you, right? Let me say this to you right now. Let me tell you what happened in Friday in court, right? With the AG currently. Let me tell you what happened in Friday. Let me tell you how much of a joke this is. The prosecutor, who is completely, what's the word I'm looking for? A dimwit, right? She's so ill prepared that she went in front of the judge, right, and said that they're still in discovery. They don't even have the case prepared. So they're in the middle of discovery for a case that they don't even have prepared, that they prosecuted, but they went in front of a grand jury and got an indictment. Make that make sense, sir. This is the stuff that I'm talking about, that you can't make this shit up. So you literally went to a grand jury, got an indictment for a case you said you were ready for, but then you get in front of the judge, and you're supposed to be prosecuting the case, and then you tell the judge you haven't even gone through discovery yet. Make this make sense. Let me go on. So Jason, I think there were thousands of rioters in January 6th that were pardoned by Trump. Yeah, so I don't think we really have an equilibrium there, right? Between Trump and Biden's pardons.
I'm gonna do some more look up January 19th again.
January 6th. Jason, to be fair, Jason, like I don't like the pardons that happened then either. Like I actually don't think Hunter really should have received a pardon. I understand why it happened, and I think the fact that Donald Trump is doing politically motivated prosecutions is terrible, and I can kind of see why he would want to preempt that. It's like standing on a principle that your opponent isn't willing to stand on is tricky, because you're talking about your son also. But regardless, like I don't like any of the pardons. I generally think pardons should only be used when there was some miscarriage of justice, not because the president just decides that they like somebody or whatever. Like they're their friend, or they donated the right amount of money to the right thing. Like I basically think that's wrong, period. And I don't think it should be used as an excuse for making it seem like what Trump is doing is either the same, because it's not the same. It's at a very different magnitude and being done for very different reasons in very different ways. And two, I don't think that it should be used to justify it, period. Like if they both
anything wrong. His daughter, his brother, they didn't do a damn thing. But he had to protect his family because of how despicable this human being is. So that's disgusting in itself. But he had to pardon his family to protect his family from how despicable and low hanging fruit this person is. I'm going on.
So I've asked you, and it's nothing further evidence why that even with charges brought against them, the charges will go through and they can get found guilty. And they can get found guilty if there's no evidence.
Do you want somebody to put charges on you and then see if you get found unguilty? Like, come on now, just think about it. The mere fact, but the idea of having to go through that, Jason, alone is very stressful. You gotta admit. Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, it's not new. It's not new. As a matter of fact, it's happening around the world. Like, if you're familiar with what's happening in Albania, the former prime minister, his name is Bush, the former president and prime minister, his case sounds a lot like the Letitia James case, almost verbatim, to where a land deal that his son-in-law benefited from back in 2008, they're bringing charges against him for that because he was political.
How much was it? You talking about land? Land sounds expensive.
It does, but the Letitia James, I know you're gonna say Letitia James' house wasn't that expensive, so it seemed like. But I think that's politically motivated. It's like this. I don't know the monetary value of the land that they're talking about, but they bought up some old land deals, just like they bought that old house they bought. And the socialist leadership in Albania is pretty much out of it. But man, I think the Letitia James case is some bullshit. But that case in Albania is the exact same thing in reverse because that's the country's left leaning people bringing charges against some more conservative former leader because of an old land. That's what I'm saying. This shit been going on for a long time and it don't just happen in America.
Yeah, but like authoritarianism is real. That has existed around the world, and authoritarians definitely use this tactic all the time. There's no doubt about it. But like, why are we comparing ourselves to Albania?
I'm gonna do a first lady. What's going on here?
What does America and Albania have to do with each other? And like, one of the reasons why this country, is better for business and generally is, I mean, there's so many caveats to this, but it's generally been better on issues of justice, at least in recent years, versus in Albania, is because we're not comparing ourselves to places like Albania. Like, I mean, our justice system is way better than North Korea's. Does that mean that what Trump is doing should be something we accept?
We're involved in what they're going USA out of these funds go over there along with George Soros funds to help train their judges on case management and train their media on how to investigate and quote unquote fact check. So we involved in what's going on over there with your taxpayer dollars.
How about we get more local and talk about Trump's son exploiting land in New Jersey and buying it up and then claiming that and keeping it poor so that he can utilize government grants.
And what about it? I'm sorry, I'm supposed about to get this bowl, man. Say that again.
Trump's son has major land holdings in New Jersey, and he's keeping them under the poverty line so that he can get government grants.
Still ain't something that seriously. I heard him say something. I believe it is a shame going on with that. But then he's got some kind of businesses that we can only make money with.
Robert, let's not even go there. Let's talk about all the licensing deals that went down. We're gonna let's bring up everything. All the licensing deals that Ivanka Trump got.
The only thing he's gonna do is his party
seen, what's his name? Carvel. I'm probably screwing his name up right now. But,
Carvel ice cream?
nah, the one used to work for Clinton. No, the Skeletor looking motherfucker.
Talking about James Carvel? I know who
James
you're talking about. Yeah.
He said, yeah, thank you. He said basically that, like all these people who support Trump, I think he's talking about the people who are like the donors. They should be, walking down. They should be shamed, and it's crazy. I mean, you have to move away from Trump. I think for the country to heal, I think you can't say his name. I think you gotta stop saying that. Once he's gone, you gotta stop saying his name. You gotta say, okay, we're gonna try
I'm
something.
saying whose name?
The name. See, there you go, right there. You see how I just did that? Trump.
As much as that man called on Biden, I'm telling you, if I had a penny, not even a dime, not even a nickel, if I got a penny for every time he mentions Biden's name, I promise you, I'd be a millionaire by now.
I'm talking about post this presidency. I think and this is my opinion. I think.
Aren't we post Biden though?
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, if people want Trump,
what's good for the geese ain't good for the gander.
No, Rest, hold on, Rest, hold on. To get Trumpism out of the mix, I just think you just gotta try to figure out how do you heal the country? How do you bring people together? And keep talking about Trump is not gonna do it. I'll go on.
I think sending him to prison would be cool.
Not only should we send him to prison, we should have done it the first time. Like, the guy broke so many laws, and so many of those cases were open and shut, and that dumbass Merrick Garland didn't understand that it was more important for the country to hold him accountable than to whatever the hell he was standing by. I don't even know what he thought he was standing by. But he wasted a whole bunch of time, and then a bunch of Trump loyalists, like, slow-walked cases that were open and shut. I mean, the man was keeping, like, very highly classified materials in his toilet, in his closet, in the pool room of Mar-a-Lago. Like, that is insane. And that's just one thing. He also tried to steal an election. Like, what are we doing? It's absolutely insane that we didn't hold him accountable. And like, the institutions are failing now because they showed just how weak they were under Biden. And that is like going to be part of the historical stain on Biden. And we've done this in this country a lot, like throughout our history, where people who should have been held to account and like absolutely had their reputations obliterated, like thrown in prison, throw away the key, like those kinds of people we have not done a good job of punishing when they've been on the right. We've tolerated all kinds of bullshit, whether it was the Confederates getting away with being traitors, or Donald Trump trying to steal an election, so on and so forth. The Iran-Contra stuff, like all of that is insane. Getting pardoned by Ford, like been terrible at that, and it has led to all kinds of pain for this country. So the idea that we're going to just forget about it and pretend that right-wing authoritarianism in this country, which is deep in our history, is going to just disappear on its own is crazy. Now, what we actually need is a much more muscular response to it, whether that's a centrist response or a left response, or I don't know, maybe a coalition between the two, and maybe people on the right of good faith. Maybe the Mitt Romney types, or even the Liz Cheneys and Kinzingers who make my stomach turn, but I think are on the right side of these kinds of issues. No, that's what actually needs to happen. The idea that we're going to just watch the grift happen and have them like make off like bandits with billions of dollars while destroying all the norms and institutions that actually are important. No, absolutely not. That's never going to happen and should not.
So if that's the route you're going to go, that's fine. Then what I hope is that if Democrats take over in the next election or in 2032, you lose, and then a Republican who was loyal to Trump wins and just does in return fire. I mean, and then we're just in a country, we're just going to be in this loop. So there you go.
It's not returning fire. That's the problem with it. It's not returning fire to hold Trump accountable for the crimes that he committed. That's not returning fire. What are we doing? That's just the law. Simple. Pure. It's not, about whether or not you like the man or not. He committed a crime the same way that no one should have defended Robert Menendez, and basically nobody did, because the man was a corrupt piece of shit and was using his office in the Senate to enrich himself. He deserved to be convicted. It's not a question of like evening up some sort of tit for tat game, and that's the whole problem. What I'm saying is that we should be Americans first. We should stand by the sort of core social contract, which includes following the law and like running elections fairly and having our representatives be elected through free and fair elections, like the foundational principles. We should stand by those fiercely, defend them like they matter, and hold people who violate them to account. Donald Trump is violating everything that is, good about the U.S. Like all of our aspirations of what we're supposed to be in our ideal state, he is violating.
Believe that other presidents have violated their oath to office as well, just not Donald Trump. There's people who believe that Biden, aka Dark MAGA, was very divisive. They believe that he used the auto pen and that should be crooked, should be investigated. There's people who believe. There's people who believe that it was political on these prosecutions, and they have a good case against him when it came to the Russia hoax. 600 plus days, people thought Mueller was going to have taken President Trump out of the White House in his first term. They didn't have anything. I thought he was a Russian asset. I thought him and Putin was scheming against America. It was never true. So your side doesn't really have a leg to stand on. Like that's where you lost credibility. That's why we're so divided, because you said this Russian thing was going on, and it turned out to be a hoax. So we just not going to take you seriously.
It amazes me how I'm somehow Robert Mueller and James Comey and somehow I have influence over them, which is always interesting.
I never said your name, by the way.
But well, you said you, but okay, that's fair enough. So the point is that if they did something that was illegal, prosecute them. I don't care. I care about the law ahead of that, which is exactly why I was bringing up Menendez, and I could bring up other people who have violated the law. I don't give a shit if they violated the law. Like when it comes to election administration, which I know well, I want the Republican in Mesa County, Colorado, who got convicted. I'm glad she got convicted, and also the Democrat in Arizona, who's essentially buying votes. I want both of them in prison because they violated our elections, and that's a really, really big deal. I don't care which side you're on. If you're violating these kinds of laws, you deserve to be held to account, period. And that's what's wrong with MAGA, is you don't have principles like that. You can look the other way and just be like, oh yeah, whatever, he gave a pardon to the Binance guy. I don't really like it, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just the law. It's just pardoning people for no good reason. Like, you can't just shrug off principle like that and expect to be taken seriously as people who are like showing up in good faith, can be negotiated with, that aren't out trying to harm you. Right? When you let someone like George Santos go, what does that say about what your moral character is? It's a horrific thing to do. Horrific.
Why you
This is how both sides get their bullshit off. Because both sides face Wanda and the left. They will let their side do whatever and they make excuses for it. So the fact that their base is making excuses and looking the other way and arguing with the other side that's trying to hold them accountable, that's how both sides get to get their bullshit off.
Excuses for what, Jason? Which excuses? Hold on, Marshall. Jason, which excuses and for what? Be specific, please.
Well, okay, so if you want an example, I'll give you one. Let's talk about the Pacific Palisades in California. I think what's going on there is criminal because they are, so this is what happened with that. I know you probably know California. What happened with the Palisades is the fire it swallowed everything up. The residents there, man, they didn't send help. And so long it was calling. Nobody came. The reservoir was empty and all of that stuff. So we got that. Boom. Now everything's destroyed. Then they tried to sneak in legislation to put affordable housing on those lines instead of helping the people rebuild. And when they
you're not doing it. So it looks shady. It looks very shady, but people make excuses. People like Gavin Newsom, people who like Karen Bass, they make excuses for that type of stuff. So
I mean, I'm like kind of stunned that you're talking about something as local as the Pacific Palisades fire as an example of how Democrats broadly are somehow making excuses for corruption and law violations. Like, I don't understand how those two things connected at all.
So is that a blue state and is that a blue county over there? Yes or no?
Yeah, but he's talking about national politics, bro. He's
Yeah.
talking about the fact.
I'm not isolating everything to federal. I'm not isolating everything to
when it comes to Republicans and corruption, you have Republicans who are making excuses. I don't know a single Democrat I know in real life who's made an excuse for Bob Menendez. But I know Republicans in real life who've made excuses for the corrupt pardons that have been given. That's his point.
Those are not equal. Those are not equal to Mark Schmidt says when I said
Biden pardons Democrats.
pardons and corruption.
Your Honor didn't. I give Your Honor credit. He said he didn't like the Democrat pardons that happened on January 19th. But that's not common for Democrats to say that. Most of them make excuses for that.
Well, hold on real quick. One, he was taking money, and he had gold bars in his closet. Pardons the president has the right. Even Biden had his presidential right to get pardons. Like, you can't take that away from him. That's not illegal. Now, if you're saying if there's somehow you know something behind the scenes that I don't know, that he was given pardons, Biden or Trump was given pardons and getting kickbacks, then maybe someone will come out like a whistleblower and provide proof. But right now, they have the constitutional right to do so. So I land all presidents do.
Yeah, it's not about the right, it's about whether you wield it justly or not. It's clearly not being wielded justly. It's not in service of justice. It's not because someone was wrongly convicted or the sentence was overly, burdensome. He's doing it because he's getting paid.
Congress could step in and pass laws to curtail some of that. So that's what I would say to that. We just don't say things are crooked without Congress.
They can't really do that because the pardon power, I believe, is constitutional, which would mean it takes an amendment to alter that.
Yeah, my point about the excuses being made by people for their own party at all levels, local, federal, state, I'm talking all levels, whatever example you want to point out. Republicans and Democrats do it. So my ultimate point was just that because both sides refuse to look at their own party, this is why they continue to get that bullshit off. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying this, that both sides don't refuse to look at it. Democrats have owned up to their shit, and at the end of the day, nobody's made excuses on the Democratic side for Bob Menendez and anybody else who's broken the goddamn law. The problem that I have with Republicans, especially MAGA, is that you guys make a lot of freaking excuses for J6ers, for instance, that every one of them have broken the law, continue to break the law, continue to come out and broke the law after they got out, and continue to do all types of stuff. And they feel emboldened to do it. They got out on pardons and literally were breaking the law and then turned around telling people, I have a pardon, so I have the right to continue to break the law. What are we talking about? Like, this is some weirdo stuff. And y'all are weird for saying some of this stuff. What are we talking about? We are
what you don't understand?
I mean, tradition is not the law, actually. And I think that's why there is a problem here. There are
I said nothing about tradition. I said, again, you don't listen. I said nothing about tradition. I said nothing about tradition. Because you're not gonna miscue my words. I said nothing about tradition. I said nothing about tradition. I said guardrails. I said offices and agencies like they are gone. Sir, the watchdog agencies are gone. No, sir, they were required by law. They absolutely were. The IG office was required by law. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't. You're talking about, sir. You have no idea what you're talking about, sir. Sir, you have no idea what you're talking about. Jason, you always want to talk just to be talking. Goodbye.
The president has broad power to pardon people, even for no reason. And Congress has no power to do anything about his pardons. And some traditional practices evolved around how the president uses that power. Some guardrails, some norms, right? But norms are not laws. And we are seeing, as I think many of you have pointed out, that the norms are breaking down. And the role of Congress here should be to rework the laws to address that situation. I mean, these broad executive powers are the result, in part, not entirely, but in part, of decisions Congress made. Decisions to give the president more power, and they have not removed, there's a whole bevy of powers they have given the president, the basis for which is entirely gone, and they have never gotten around to repealing them.
Your garbage Supreme Court did that. Your president with his garbage Supreme Court did that. They expanded that. Your garbage Supreme Court did that. Thank you.
About something that goes back at least 100 years.
Yeah.
Tell me about something now. Tell me about something that goes back about 100 years.
No, but it's U.S. Okay? The authorization of military use of force for Gulf War I, Gulf II, the war in Afghanistan, they have not been repealed. We all know those are over, but Congress has not gotten around to cleaning that up. And the whole thing about the tariffs, the interesting thing about it is if Trump cannot do the tariffs through emergency powers or whatever his initial plan was, there are 5 or 6 other things apparently that are going to let him do some or all of them. We have given a massive amount of power.
War was not even declared. You don't even know what you're talking about. Shut your ass up. Shut your ass up. You don't know. You never heard this before. Shut your ass up. He doesn't know what he's talking about. No, Marshall, be quiet. This is what you have no idea what you're talking about. Stop it. No, it was not. Because Iraq was not even passed. No, it was not. It was not passed. It was not passed. Marshall, it was not passed. It was never passed. It was never passed.
All right. Only one at a time. What's happening?
I had a question.
Is Versa going on right now? The Versus is, what's it called? Versace? What's that thing?
Oh, is it going on? Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
It's supposed to start at 8, right? 8 o'clock.
Somebody said 5 p.m. West Coast time.
Yeah, that's 8 o'clock for y'all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're missing out.
Oh, okay. All right. So what's the argument now? What's happening?
He's just coming in here just spewing shit. The normal Trump bullshit.
Okay,
When they come on here,
you're talking to me, right?
he's asking me. He just comes on here and they spew the normal Trump lies, the normal bullshit, and they tell people all kinds of shit and disinformation. Always do. And I hate the damn bullshit.
have disinformation. I'm fed up of it.
It's not disinformation if you don't listen to what comes out of his mouth, Rez. You
Marshall,
interrupt.
I'm not listening to it anymore. I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Marshall, we should look it up, Marshall. And I did. And the authorization, yeah, I said there was an authorization of military use of force passed for Gulf War I, and Rez is saying no.
You said for all of it all the way through.
No,
You
I
are a
did not say
liar. Yes,
that.
you did.
I
You're
said
a liar. Yes, you
I-
did.
no, I
Yes,
didn't.
you said all the way through.
For the love of Christ. You don't want people to interrupt you, so how about you don't interrupt him?
Stop trying to dislike him.
Of military use of force
No, I'm saying
against
manners are
Iraq
manners, and you want manners to be enforced for you, then
was
you have to enforce it for him.
You got to dislike him.
We gotta
I
talk
need you
about
to
facts
dislike
here,
him.
not about people.
Ray, stop talking about Dingaling Bratton. What's going on?
The authorization for the military use of force was passed as a joint resolution in 2002. All right? And there are many other such cases where powers have been granted to the president and not revoked. And I've listed many others. There's a huge range of them. And these restrictions on the power, like there needs to be an IG, or there needs to be this or that. Okay, a lot of these are norms. They're traditional behavior that is not required by the law. And the norms are breaking down. And that's where you say, okay, I guess we gotta go rethink how the laws are put together, how the system works. But that's Congress's job to change. You can't rely on people in the presidency being nice. And you can't hold the president accountable for doing things he has almost complete freedom to do without accountability, according to the laws that Congress did pass, which is true of the pardon power and various other things that that president can do. And so it's great that people are unhappy with Trump for bad things that he does. Many conservatives are also unhappy. But fixing the president or something, it's not the president whose job is to fix the president in a system of balance of powers. It's another power's job to fix the president.
So
Thank you for listening.
Jason, tip room, Jeff. I think that right here we have this vector of the president using pardons for political benefit, right, as opposed to financial benefit directly. So, and we see this clearly in his pardoning of the Binance guy, right? Because the Binance guy, cryptocurrency, firm, donated money to WLFI, right? The World Liberty Financial, right? Which is run by his son, by Trump's son. So, wouldn't that be basically an indirect grift?
But I don't know that that's a crime. Like, what basis is there
It's a
for
crime.
challenging
Oh, sorry.
the president's pardon?
Because it's a crime for the president to be bribed. You can't, it's illegal for a president to get a bribe for a pardon.
What is it? I mean, so in principle you might be right, but like, what, like, did the donation occur before he pardoned the guy, or like at the same time? Like, can you draw a line there to link them? I mean, before he was convicted or after or what? And it's like, how are you gonna, and more broadly.
I think it's not drawing the line, I think it's dragging the line. But like you're saying, did the line occur before, after, or during the pardoning, right? I believe it occurred before the pardoning, but then that would even show, for me, even more weight towards the pardon itself.
It may show that for you, but I would be very surprised if anyone has ever successfully prosecuted a president for corruption in his pardon. I mean, if you want to argue that there was favor shown in a pardon, there are more cases than the Trump situation, and it's just not something anybody touches. Maybe that's the next one that has to change.
It's inescapable right now. I'm trying to keep the problem simple enough so we can solve the problem.
Yeah, I'm saying you don't understand what the problem is. That's where I disagree with you about what the problem is. The problem is not Trump. The problem is Trump has power to do things, a lot of things, and he shouldn't have that power. And And that has to do with the office of the presidency, not Trump. You can't solve Trump. You got to solve the office. That's like, if you look at like where we even get our system of government from, was the English realized the problem was not a bad king. The problem was a king. And so they gradually made all these things to restrain the king and create sort of representative systems of government and impose rule of law on things and separate powers from the king. And that was the only way they made the system uncorrupt. It wasn't by like, well, let's get the bad king out and good king in. I mean, sometimes that worked, but then you got the same problem again. And they saw this happen.
That's because we've made the scope escapable, right? We've made the scope too large to actually contain the solution. So the solution here is this president breaking the law? That is the problem right now. That's the problem question, right? The problem definition. And when we're trying to solve that problem, we look at what did the president do? And what the president has done is he has taken somebody who donated money to his campaign, showed favoritism to them, and pardoned the person. Now, would you then say, with just that short scope, is that then a form of bribery?
No, that's not necessarily a bribe. Okay, that doesn't, I mean, let's say someone who you liked and who donated to your campaign was unjustly prosecuted and unjustly thrown in jail, and you pardon them. That would be the right thing to do, I guess, right?
That's our moral seesaws are uneven.
Well, it's not about morality. There's nothing that you can say, just like when we, like, Biden pardoned a family member.
Seesaws are uneven.
Just because Biden pardoned a family member doesn't mean he did something wrong.
Remember, I was trying to narrow the scope so we could solve this particular problem.
I'm saying the way you're...
That would be a different situation. I would do that in a multi-layered way, and I would use much more forces around that. But to take account of this specific problem, this is where I would tag things.
Well, I don't think that you can show that what he did was illegal there. And I don't think, more broadly, that we do this at this time. I don't know that we ever prosecute presidents for their pardons. So you're treating it as an open and shut matter. I'm saying this is just not productive. You're never going to get anywhere if you're trying to figure out how to prosecute the president for misusing his pardon power. He has such broad power to pardon. That will not accomplish anything. And that is the problem, that he has such broad power. And we have only increased the president's power, you know? And if we want to limit the president's power, that's how we get out of this situation. That's the lesson of even the development of our institutions.
Well, traditionally, Jason, people vote based on abuse of pardon. So if our friends in the leftist community believe that Trump is a criminal, they have a good case that he's a criminal. The way they should adjudicate that is in the ballot box. Make that case to the voters in 2028. What I predict will happen is, and I'll be brief here, I predict the voters will agree with the leftists and say, yes, Trump is scum. He did do all these criminal things, but we hate the Democratic Party so much that we're going to re-elect Trumpism. That's my prediction.
Actually, Binance put WLF, they were the first to put WLF on their exchange as of September 2025. Do you revise your assessment?
I want to know more about that situation. If you want me to assess whether Trump committed a crime in the case of this pardon, I mean, need more than 10 minutes or 20 minutes. I need to familiarize myself with what occurred. And pardoning is just
I'm going to ask you to do that now. I'm just saying, look into it, Jason, and because I know that you're pretty due diligent. So yeah, just look into that.
And what you'll get from that, even if you find out that he did do something wrong, what you will probably find is that prosecuting him for it is basically impossible. And certainly impractical. And this is where we come back to executive power.
I think it's just insidious, for him to do that, the way he's doing it, and how often he's doing it, the frequency and the magnitude of which he's doing it, and the outcomes and the recidivism as well.
And the other thing, Jason, is you can make, what you're essentially making is a legal argument or like a governance argument, but there's a moral argument that matters here. Like, if the president has largely unrestricted power to pardon, which the American president absolutely does have, we can still judge whether or not they're using that pardon responsibly or not. And it still matters. It matters as a political question. It matters as a governance question about how should we treat the pardon if we try to restrict it. And it feels like you're not paying enough attention to how important that is to, to lots of people for all kinds of reasons. Namely, like very important foundational principles such as, are all men equal under the law? Like, that's a really fundamental principle that's called into question when a George Santos gets a pardon or when this Binance guy gets a pardon. Clearly, we're not all equal under the law, and the way to be, to receive favor is to give money to the big guy, right?
And I ultimately treat that as a governance question, not as a legal question. And we should be thinking about what do we do about the problem. But I think maybe there's a different direction here. Maybe the Republic has gotten, I don't know, something's gotten out of balance or it's gotten too big or whatever. I don't think we should have a single executive anymore. There are some countries that have an executive council, like Switzerland. And the people who make pardons, they take a vote when they exercise the executive power. And in Switzerland's case, I believe there are 7 members of the executive council. So you don't get this seesaw effect when you have an election because you replace some of them and not all of them. Okay, so you don't get this dramatic change in your executive policy. And you also don't have these people who can just unaccountably do what they will. I mean, they still have to persuade someone else. And that's where I think, that's what I would argue here is like what this is really a sign of, is that this unitary, like one guy, monarch-like power figure is just, okay, it's not going to work for very much longer. So we need to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming to the same line of thinking because the Constitution is an incomplete document. So, they did not envision somebody using the pardon power, right? Like they were operating on basically a gentleman's agreement. Like no gentleman will ever do this. So it's totally incomplete document. And I think Americans, they deify the founding fathers and they deify the creation of the Constitution like it's truly from God, but it's just a document that had all these loopholes, and we can clearly see it.
Again, the way you talking, you know what I'm saying? Americans, what in the world are you doing about changing it if you don't like it? You keep saying we are worshiping. I don't think anybody's worshiping a document or any of that kind of stuff. I think that black folks and minorities would like to see some kind of fair changes come our way. I bet you that. So at the end of the day, even that document didn't include a lot of minority people. So I mean, at the end of the day, there can be improvements on everything, but it's a lot of foreign people have a lot to say and they don't live over here.
Okay, why are you assuming I'm foreign?
Well, I'm just saying, just in general.
Well, that's a crazy assumption.
Brother, I'm not saying, give me a minute here, I'm not saying that you're foreign if the shoes aren't on your feet, brother, then that's fine. If you're not foreign, got it. Just say it. You sound like it. If you're not, cool. At the end of the day, brother, that train's driving right on down the tracks right now. At the end of the day, though, brother, America, though, does have improvements, regardless of whatever people believe. The Constitution, though, never, ever, ever was written to be abused in this fashion, in this way, and we are in an era that is more publicized now than ever, and Donald Trump is a kind of president that honestly does not abide by anything, whether that's laws, whether it's publicized or not. He does not care, and right now we are in a time in our country that it's not been seen before. If I could look up presidents, I've tried to look going back as far as I could. I haven't seen anything like Donald Trump as far as I could as far as I can tell, in history anyway. And we don't want this type of history repeating itself, and I'm concerned about it. And that's where Donald Trump is taking us back to history. I'm concerned.
Well, thank you all for listening to a white man's voice on this topic. I have to go for a little bit. So I appreciate being in this forum with you all.
You're not white.
We'll
What are you
talk
talking
again.
about? Jason, what are you doing? You're not white. What's happening?
I'm pure white. I'm pure
No, you're
white.
not.
I'm pure Aryan man.
No, you're
I'm
not.
Czech German. I have R1 alleles. I'm pure Aryan and white and not, mixed with anyone.
Yeah, Jason, you're supposed to say you're white.
Jason, you need to work
Jason,
with
you are
black
not
people
white
a little bit
tea.
more.
You are not white tea.
Bye-bye,
I'm
Jason.
not white. What do you think I am?
I don't know. I'm just joking with you.
Okay. All right. White power, everybody.
No power, no power.
Fine, fine. Have a great night, everybody. Thank
Bye,
you.
white
Okay.
Go back to O'Connell.
All right. No, Haskell, buddy. Haskell's. I just write JavaScript now, dude. But I'm going to talk to you later.
All right.
Ciao.
This is the funniest room always.
To the person that just spoke, interesting is like all the Nixon tapes are recorded, and I was just listening to some of them recently, and a lot of it is him trying to talk to like the his people to like litigate against whoever's litigating against him. Like, go find out. Like, he was doing a lot of the shit that Trump's doing, and it's all recorded. Like, it almost sounds the same. So it's almost like a second act of Nixon.
You're off target, brother. We've never seen. Come on, man. You guys to get it right. You guys get in your pickup truck and drive right, brother. You're off course, brother. It's not close. Donald Trump talks about grabbing women in areas that it's inappropriate and all that.
Yeah,
This is not
in terms of corruption, maybe not in terms of like
Well, but look, we'll just say the word of the day is compilation. It's a lot going on, and Donald Trump is just a facet of that word. It's a lot going on, and Donald Trump is a part of the mix of whether it be making fun of somebody, whether it be us being laughed at on the world stage. It is horrible, and I feel like our country, it's like a kangaroo court or whatever you want to call it. It just seems that we're not on course, and we got to get back on course. And you got folks not going to be able to eat next month. That just came across the TV here. I hope you Republicans are happy that you guys are the Grinches that stole Thanksgiving from people that may not be able to eat. That's what makes me mad, right? Because that's what I worry about. Folks not having a meal to eat and choosing if they're going to keep the lights on to eat a meal. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Republicans, you got the power, and you have some kind of responsibility to get the government open, and I suggest you fix it and upright it. It is your responsibility to get this thing right. Stop blaming people. That's what makes me mad, because you sit up here and you blame the wrong people instead of looking in the mirror at yourselves right now.
Can we get an amen?
Amen. I don't know if this was thinking over there, but something rang.
Yeah, that was I thought that was you first.
No.
That was me and my tambourine.
That tambourine is broke.
Yeah, we gotta go watch Sinners one day. Maybe go on Chatter, we watch Sinners.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, you got a beautiful voice, but I don't think you got good ears.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Talking to First Lady, right? I don't think we've ever seen First Lady ears.
Oh, you never seen my ears?
No, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not like Aaron.
You see the right
Some
one
of
of
us don't
us.
try to show everything.
I'm not like Aaron. I don't be stalking people's pictures like that.
Amari, I'm so proud to report I've never seen the picture. Many of them, apparently there's multitudes.
The way you act, act like you have. Shit, you haven't stopped talking about it.
I just remember the, clubhouse drama when the mic exploded because of you sending your drums on the internet.
You're bringing up something.
Piccadilly is crazy.
I was sitting there with my popcorn, probably 2 fingers of a good bourbon. And
I was
just
like 44 years
enjoying
old.
myself.
Two fingers of a
I'm 47 now. You still talking about this?
I mean, sometimes people need to know who they're talking to.
People know who the fuck I am. There's no secret.
They didn't know that.
What that gonna do?
I didn't
What's it
know.
gonna do? What is that? What you think out of the blue?
Well, I think we need to
What I don't like, Amari, is
No,
because here's the
I
thing.
ain't doing court first.
Like, I've been the same
We gonna
person on
send
this
this to
app.
court.
I've been the same person on this app for 4 years, right? Like, I've been consistent. I haven't changed that much. I've grown a little bit. I've matured. We've all had whatever's happened to us in our lives. But I'm the same dude. Some other people don't act like the same person. And when I hear them not act like the same person, I think it's good to just let people know who they're talking to.
Okay, I get it, and I think Roger's the one that has between you and Roger. I think y'all the ones that got the whole dossier and shit. I'm like
dossier. Is Roger still on that app?
No, the Roger in the chat. He started.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Because that's a couple times. I think he's the one or she. I don't know who it is. It's someone that whoever that Roger individual is, the person that's I think still spreading this shit, keeping that shit alive. So.
What you mean? Roger ain't even talking about you. What you talking about?
He said, First Lady see the DMs. Like, come on now.
He sent me a message. What's happening?
I'm just saying, like, I just don't get why Your Honor still bringing up something. Like, why? What about? I mean, why are you still bringing up the picture thing? Like, I think that's just weird. That why you keep bringing that up? Like, I don't understand. Like, what do you think? No one's trying to holler at First Lady. No one's trying to holler at Patty. No one's trying to holler at Lee. Like, no one's trying to, like, why bring that up? We're talking about politics. Like, your goal is to try to, like, shame me in front of these people, which is weird.
I
We're
don't
talking
really
about
care
politics.
about your shame. That's
No,
not
but
my business.
that's your goal. I think that's.
My goal is more that I don't think you've been consistent. I don't think that you show up in the same way. I think I've heard you talk one way in one kind of room, very differently in a different kind of room. And I don't appreciate that. And so I like to make it a little bit more even. And one of the things that frustrates me about this app is that people regularly come in rooms and we need to pretend that they're brand new. And I've been on with you for a very long time. And I don't like the brand new shit. I don't like the tabula rasa. And so that's not the only thing I've brought up.
This is the first time.
As you know, it's not the only thing I've brought up in the past.
No, hold on, but Your Honor, hold on. This is the first time you tell me I'm brand new. You've never told me that. So what's brand new about me? Like,
I brought this up the other night because there were ways that you were presenting yourself the other night that I didn't think were consistent and congruent with who you've been on this app for a very long period of time.
Like what? Like I never said
There's a reason why I
We
never
can get into the details. Let me just read this poll real quick. So 58% of the people say, heck yes, Trump will pardon Diddy. 45% of the people say, hell no, he's not going to do it. So I don't know which way we're going to go. 47 people did vote. I appreciate you. Another poll is coming. Stay tuned. Carry on.
No, I just don't. The brand new thing. This is the second time I heard that, and I'm like, because I'm not trying to like talk to women, that makes me brand new. Like because I'm just trying, you just come on the app.
No. It's not about that. I don't really care about you and what.
No, but you said you made the statement. I just don't understand why you made that statement because that's twice I heard someone say I'm brand new, and I'm like,
I don't know. This isn't very interesting to me. Well, there's lots of ways where I think you're very slithery. You have a tendency to be one way and then not. And I don't think that lack of consistency.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean by that.
Then you're gonna have to live with that.
Sometimes I act like
I don't think you need to worry that much about who I am.
No. I mean, I'm trying to have a genuine conversation right now because the brand new. I don't like the picture thing. Okay, that's fine. Okay, you're right. I never denied it, right? Did I ever lie about it? No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Okay, so but the brand new thing actually that bothers me more because I don't know what's brand new. All I'm doing is coming on here talking about politics, and I've done that.
Yeah, I think you're really inconsistent in your politics. I think one minute you're Mr. Blexit, and you're essentially a right-wing reactionary who's been part of the really some really grotesque movements that have caused a lot of damage. And then other times you're someone who was mistreated, who left certain circles because that you weren't treated that well. But you're still kind of running the exact same play that you were before, and I find that inconsistency to be really disingenuous. I find it to not be honest or consistent. I think that there's times where you act a certain way, where you expect a certain amount of grace while not offering that. I think that there's lots of times where, like I said before, you act differently in different rooms. But, you don't have to worry that much about what I think.
Well, that's fair. I mean, that's a fair call out. Look, if what you're saying is you think that I'm not consistent in the way that maybe I go with my politics, sometimes I might sound different. Okay, that's a fair call. I'll accept that. But in regards to my circle is still there. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody, I still got my ex-followers. I still got people from the Mats to the Rickies. I still, people still follow me. People are still good with me. I still talk to Krishanda. I still talk to everybody. For the most part, 99% of the people. So I mean,
okay.
I'm
not keeping tabs on your network, dude. Like,
I'm saying
it's
my
not that
network is
important
cool.
to me.
Yeah, I'm saying my network is cool. Yeah, like, the truth is, do I regret? Hell to the fucking yeah, I regret. I regret it. But can I still live off the past? No, I gotta move on. I accepted it. Me and my wife talked about it, and we're good, right? So with that being said, I gotta move on from that. But if you're trying to do that and bring it up on the fact that you're trying to embarrass me in front of the people, I think that's kind of shady. Okay, I think it's kind of shady, and it's uncalled for, in my opinion. I'm just talking
We
politics.
disagree on the uncalled for part.
I mean, look,
And to be fair, you're also creating a scenario where you're leaving out an awful lot of experience that I've had with you directly, in different ways. Different ways
between you and Aaron, the other Aaron, which is
I'm not Aaron.
Dark. I know, but between you and Dark.
You guys have your own thing, something with the bed.
Nice to, look,
I don't know.
You and I have never gotten arguments. You and I never called each other names until I came back. Now you call me.
I don't know about that.
Come on now. The only person.
I don't know about that.
You and I never had this many problems until recently. And I just don't get it, bro. I just don't get what your main issue. I mean, you don't like my politics, but you didn't like my politics.
Well,
then.
yeah, I didn't like your politics before, but I think the thing that I don't like since you've been back is that there's there was like a pretend conversion moment, or like let me get in here and act like one way, and then I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I think that there's like a softening of a stance when you first got on here that endeared you to certain people, ingratiated you to certain people, that I think was false. I think it was hollow. I think it was an act.
Fair enough. And we can move on.
And I don't appreciate that, right? And I am very consistent in my politics. Like, I've been very much the same person for 4 years. Like, love it or hate it, whatever.
Well, Omari,
so I think that
engage your Omari.
No.
Is it okay with your engage?
No.
Omari?
Yeah, I
No,
really
this
want
was
to
a back and forth. This was
Yeah,
a back
but
and
I
forth.
just wanted to know what you're on. I really don't understand what the beef you and I had, since we never had we just argued about politics. It's like GOAT, right? Me and GOAT, we don't have beef.
Don't bring up my
Okay, sorry.
name.
Or I mean Douglas, right? Me, Douglas,
that's ancient news. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like we just argue politics, but it seems like now it's with some people it's personal. We never had that personal back and forth. But hey, look, I think this topic is not about Omar. The topic is not about you. And so, First Lady, I'll give you back your room. I just wanted to find out, what I did to this man, and so that we can figure that shit out.
All right, it sounds good to me. Yeah, so we put that to bed. However, I don't know if we'll ever know whether it was a Tootsie Roll or BDE. Getting to the poll at the top. I cracked myself up. Okay. Should the Dems vote the government on the next vote? Go ahead, cast your vote now. We appreciate you being here. Is Lisa opening? What's going on? It's 9 o'clock. Hello?
Hey, Omar, send
this is the reason why you're not in my family, Aleph. You don't know how to stay on no kind of code. You're just out there. You're just crazy. No. Hush. Leave it alone. All right. What's next?
Did you hear some of the numbers that an architect put behind the ballroom project?
What's the numbers?
There's an architect that just said, like, based on the information that's been released, he doesn't think it's for real, right? Like, there's a $300 million budget to build out a 90,000 square foot space, which would put, like, the cost per square foot roughly at, like, 3,300-ish, right? And that's insane. Like, $1,000 a square foot is insane. 3,300 is beyond insane. And then they did the numbers and they said, they're asking for 999 people to be able to fit in this ballroom. And like comfortably, you could do a ballroom with like 10 square feet per person, but let's say they do 15 and allocate 10,000 square feet for like, support facilities and stuff. That still only gets you to like 45,000 square feet. There's still another 45,000 square feet that he's saying is gonna exist that doesn't exist, right? And then when you look at the renderings that he's done, none of the outside renderings match what he's showing from the inside. So there's actually no plans, right? And I'll end with this, is that I think when the original East Wing was built, there was some serious hardcore secret shit that was built underneath it to protect the president under certain, conditions. And so when I first heard it, I was like, oh, that's crazy. But then the details, the fact that it was done, that the construction started exactly during the government shutdown, the fact that it's entirely privately funded, so you can't get requests for information on it because it's entirely funded by private investors and donations, and so I wonder, and this is my question: do you guys think that the fact that it's $3,300 per square foot is related to new infrastructure because they built the old East Wing 80 years ago? So do you think that this is actually just a cover to build a massive, like, new underground facility underneath the White House?
I mean, I would be surprised if they did some crazy stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with that East Wing. I don't know. But, maybe just doing a whole new little situation because too many people knew what was going on in the East Wing. Now you really won't know what's going on over there other than when you come. I'm going to the ballroom, okay? I'm going to shake a tail feather. Everybody was ballroom dancing. I'm going to be there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please buy my ticket. Oh, I need y'all to sponsor my ticket. Huh? 2028?
I hope it's not. Yeah, I hope it's not for the 2028 inauguration.
It'll be, do you think it'll be complete by, what's the date they're supposed to complete this by? Anybody know? Is there a date of completion?
Submitted any plans. Like, he just went and demolished it because the government shut down. So all that were supposed to approve it and go through it, and none of them have received anything. They just tore that, they just tore it.
That ain't funny. The people mad about this.
Surprisingly, that more people are mad about it, right? Like, I know that an order went out for the Fed, which is the building that's the east of the East Wing that kind of overlooks it, and they were given orders not to report or take pictures at all on what was going on. But the satellite images show, wow, and he said nothing was going to be touched, it wasn't going to be connected, and then the first picture showed a wall go down, and then next thing you know, like, old East Wing ain't there anymore. And I'm surprised more people aren't mad.
I mean, what you gonna do? They get mad, but you can get mad, but you better kiss somebody's ass and get glad. Cause what you gonna do? I mean, like, what can you do at this point? There's nothing that you can do but get mad and get your pressure all up for. Like, what's mad gonna do?
Maybe that's the answer to the question up above, right? Is that the Dems, I think they're fighting the good fight. They're trying to stop something that's going to impact so many Americans when it comes to the cost of health care. But you kind of think like, hey, why don't you just let them light themselves on fire? Let them go ahead, do it. Light up the government and just point the finger and say, hey guys, there's only one person to blame for your healthcare costs, and that's the big beautiful bill in the Republic.
Yeah, I think the politics will go differently. Respectfully, I think the politics will go differently then.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a certain side of this where the presidency has consequences, right? Like what all these people are doing right now, they will be held to account to a certain extent. And like I think Democrats will definitely do that, obviously, right? I mean, that's what you do when you're out of power. But I think that there's also, that doesn't mean that you do it passively. You need to point out what's going on and build the narratives and win the politics and show that you're going to be better. You don't just sort of sit back and wait for them to faceplant and say, look, I didn't get elected. It doesn't work that way.
This is a useful lesson to all the leftists who stayed home and didn't vote for Kamala, right? I was in this room where the leftist community said, out of support for Gaza, they're not voting for Kamala. Well, those leftists who refuse to vote for Kamala, that's the reason Trump is in the White House.
Yeah, that's not
Why do you want war every day? Damn. You just want to war with the people every day. Every day. Just looking for a fight.
It's true.
I think Schumer said during the last budget that passed before they shut down, and one of the reasons he said why the Dems got behind it was because they were really concerned that what Trump ultimately wanted was the shutdown. And they were concerned that he was fine with being shut down and that he wasn't going to open it up again. And that's why they ultimately went along with it. Like, obviously, they've changed mindset this time, but Trump doesn't seem too concerned. I think he's got him and his team have a whole list of things that they can do with the government shutdown, and I think that's why they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah, but the challenge right now is who's responsible, right? Who has to answer for what? And before, sort of no one was really answering for it. Now there's pressure. There are people that are going to be held responsible because there's people who are going to hold them responsible because they're feeling pain. And, the argument the first go around was, well, imagine all the horrible things he'll do. And then he went and did them anyway. So all they really achieved was giving Trump more power to do it faster. Because he doesn't care about the law. He doesn't care when he's told by courts not to do a thing. He doesn't care about norms. He doesn't care about people. Clearly, he's not restrained by that at all. Like, he's screwing people over left, right, and center. So the question is really an accountability question and a power question. So how do you check Trump's power, and how do you hold him accountable? And the only way to check his power right now, like the first thing that has to happen, is organized resistance. And the Democratic Party needs to be at the fore of that. And they need to expose all the things that the Republicans are doing so that the American people can decide if they like them or not. And as it turns out, they like them less and less. And that's particularly true in certain demographics. Like, there was just a poll, I'll pull this up in a second, of, I think they described it as Hispanic men. This came out, I read it on Politico, I forget where it was, but, or what the pollster was. But, like, he's hemorrhaging support in all kinds of key demographics. And you have to have accountability. You can't just roll over and let it happen.
I actually agree with that. And I think that maybe the place where I'm a bit more pessimistic is that I think the Democrats understand that making Americans feel the most pain from Republican policy is their best strategy coming up to the midterms, right? And so maybe, and to your point, Your Honor, I think like maybe that's why, like they understand that the healthcare increase in costs are going to be painful. But to your point, maybe the shutdown and the impact of that as paychecks run out, food banks, federal workers go to food banks, maybe they understand that is going to hurt or force Americans to feel the pain of bad Republican policy. And I think the latest polls show that still, I think between 60 or 70% of Americans blame Republicans for the current shutdown. So yeah, maybe yeah.
Yeah, and just the Hispanic adult poll, I just found it. It looks like it's from Associated Press and the NORC Center for Public Affairs. It's almost 1,300 Hispanic adults that found that 25% of approval for the president, down from 44% when he was taking office. And they also say that 73% of them say the country's going in the wrong direction. So, like, the goal right now for people who don't like what Trump is doing should be to create organized resistance, right? To actually do something that prevents him from executing his, missions across the board, right? It's ICE, whether it's him grifting off the government to try to find ways that expose him and prevent him from doing what he's trying to do. Like, that has to be the goal. But you need people first to have enough awareness to go and do something about it.
A question for the state, like, we're leading up into the midterms. If you're in the Republicans' shoes and you see the trends, I would expect over the next, 6 to 8 months, a massive effort to win votes. And I don't know where that's going to come from. Like, I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts. Like, how are they going to win support in the midterms? And I know he has all the strength and he'll pull all the levers, but like, I just don't know how the Republicans do that to not lose power in the midterm.
So a very interesting, maybe tangential report that came out recently is a lot of the federal employees from all the different departments have actually been starting to come together, and they're piecing together from their respective things that they know. They're piecing it together to start to formulate what the picture is and what they're actually doing. Because part of this has been, it's like, what are they actually doing to try to, it as an end game? And it's been very clouded and opaque. But by potentially, like, at least looking at the trails of what people have been experiencing within their respective departments, they're starting to really get a good picture of at least potentially where the trajectory of where we're trying to take.
That's all true, but I don't think swing voters have sympathy for federal employees. If you want to win the election, you have to have a better pitch than Trump is hurting federal vote.
No, so in this instance, in order to begin to formulate a strategy or how to change things, you first have to know what your opponent's doing. Like, it's much harder to create a strategy that will be winning if you don't necessarily know where they're heading, which is but part of the, Steve Bannon says just throw a million things at them, and it makes it that much harder to figure out, like, which one is the actual priority that they're paying the most attention to.
Well, I think we'll find out in the midterms that you're mistaken and that actually the swing voters are still angry at the Democratic Party on the same issues. So if the Democratic Party wants to win the midterms, it has to change the issues that the voters hate.
Like, if we look at what Trump was voted in on in the last elections, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was mostly like inflation, illegal immigration, and maybe his ability to stop, the wars on the first day. And I think of those three, the only one that he's maybe checked the box on, you could argue, was immigration. And so when the government opens up again and starts producing the numbers around jobs and the economy and inflation caused by his tariffs, I think that swing vote speed in the midterms, and that was kind of the base of my question, is like, when you see the jobs and the economy and the inflation, those swing votes are going to go against Trump because he just didn't deliver.
Well, I respect very much what you're saying, but I just posted a link that I think respectfully disagrees with you, so I'll be succinct. What this link shows is that the swing voters, the families that always voted Democrat, who decided to vote Republican for the first time in this election, they had two reasons why they hate the Democratic Party. One issue is the trans issue, and the other is illegal immigration. Now, if you read this link, I think there's proof the Democratic Party totally shit the bed on both of those issues. And my prediction is in the midterms, the Democratic Party will shit the bed again and lose again. And if you talk to swing voters, they're happy that Trump is addressing the trans issue, and they're happy that he is deporting illegals. Now, you may be unhappy. It may offend your moral sensibilities, but the swing voters just don't agree
1 second. Speedy has consumed his allotment of 3 predictions, so there will be no more predictions for the rest of the night. Thank you. Please proceed.
That's a thing. No more predictions for the night. We don't need any prediction.
There is no transition. They put $200 million on creating an issue that doesn't really exist. So saying that the Dems failed, it's like there was no issue. The GOP made it up. So that's the heart of it. Like they made it an issue that it's like, hey, be worried about this thing that probably happens like 0.01% of the time.
Sorry, my dogs are freaking out. Sorry, I just give me a sec. Sorry, the trains have got them all worked out. But here's the thing: the 3 things that you posted about, Speedy, are inflation, legit, illegal immigration, legit, and trans people reading stories to kids in libraries in Florida, right? And so 2 out of those 3 things are not like the other, you know what I mean? So like the trans thing, and this will all agree, right, is that the Democrats fell for the trick. Every single response to like a Democratic being asked like, hey, should drag queens be able to read stories to kids in the library? Every single response should have been, that's a stupid cost to healthcare. But instead they were like, no, I think they should be. So they fell for that, right? But that's not the 1% that matters. It's the billionaires, and those first 2 things are important, and Trump has failed on inflation. Period.
Bunch of little guys.
Agree that inflation is worse now than when Trump took office? Or 3%.
Hi, I have a hot take whenever you guys are ready.
I'd like to hear your hot take, Alicia.
God bless. Okay, well, as we see, I don't know if you guys are familiar with what happened on January 6th, 2021, but there was an insurrection. I don't think that any of this shit is going to fucking matter, respectfully. Because America has shown that it does not give a fuck. Poor, rich, they're sucking Trump's dick. Okay? And it's tragic. But this is what it is. And we've been stuck here. And we're going to continue to be stuck here. Because this is what America chose. And, there's all the things about Elon Musk stealing the election, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But, frankly, even if that did happen, then we're extra fucked. Because it's not like the midterms are going to be fair. So, you heard it here first. We are doomed. We finna stay doomed. And, yeah, that's all. God bless.
Oh no. You were going some not we're doomed.
Yeah, I agree with that speaker.
As long as Donald Trump's running.
Yeah. I agree as well. I think the issue is that people have been fooled into thinking it's left or right, and in many ways it is. But I think in a more important way, it's rich versus poor. When you look at the economy, the reason why it hasn't been impacted so much recently is because the rich people, their buying power is so big now, and they don't care about inflation in the economy, that the impact of the economy is less because poor people just don't buy enough to impact the economy anymore.
Yeah, did you see these stock buybacks? That recently just happened because of the what the fuck? Because of whatever the tax cuts or whatever the rebates that all those companies just got?
1,000%. Those are supposed to go towards jobs and creating infrastructure and building out new manufacturing and they got the money, and then they put it into buying back the stock to raise the stock price so that their shareholders would become, have a couple more $1 million in their bank account. 100%.
And what percentage of people in the United States own stock? Do we know? I know somebody knows. I know it's not a large percentage, though.
It's a large percentage because everyone's retirement funds are in regular stocks. So it's almost everybody.
No, it's not almost everybody.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
It's about half, and about 90% of the stock holdings are owned by the top 10%.
Right. So anyway, yeah, and I don't know if you've heard the news, but retirement is a farce, and if you don't have generational wealth, you're likely not getting it or a break ever. So I hate to say it, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, the Debbie Downer, but white people whited. They're going to continue to white, and everybody else is fucked. And the poor whites, unfortunately, they're not really white either. Their whiteness is considered wasted because they're poor. And, they've been cast aside. So the poor whites and everybody who's not white is doomed. The Indians and the Asians, they may attempt to, what's it called? Not infiltrate, assimilate into whiteness, but, that, we'll see how that unfolds in the next 100 to 150 years. But as of now, the U.S. isn't looking good.
I vote like hell to get this man up out of man. He gets out of office. Y'all better vote because we can't have any of this Republican stuff again. This is crazy. I mean, it's like a kangaroo country. We got, folks arguing about who can play at the Super Bowl and all this, and ICE wants to show up. It's a lot, right? This is unprecedented. I ain't never heard of ICE say, hey, let's go to the Super Bowl and whatever. This is just so stupid. It's like, and then we got a president that's up in the NFL's business. It's just a lot going on. We have other things to be worried about instead. He'd rather worry about the damn NFL. Oh my God.
Because Puerto Rico is not America, okay? I don't know if y'all know, but they have been the bastard child for quite some time. They don't have voting rights. They don't get Social Security. Like, y'all, come on. Can you look at the tea leaves? Like, have we been living in the same place? And y'all have lived a lot longer than me. So I don't know why you don't know this.
Do they not get Social Security? I didn't know that.
Oh, no.
Is that real?
And if you retire, so let's say you're a federal worker, and then you decide to retire in Puerto Rico, they will sue your ass and make you pay that money back. Even if you earned the Social Security working in the contiguous United States. Yes, there was a huge lawsuit about it. Very tragic. Very tragic.
That's crazy. They're really 10 years old. Something like that.
They do get some social benefits because there was that time when Trump threw the paper towel at them, and let's be honest, that's a federal benefit. But here's the point I want to make: is that the Republicans and the Democrats in the Congress and Senate pass an unbalanced budget, which is a tax on poor Americans, multiple times every single year. Doesn't matter who's in power, and most of them are multimillionaires, and they make on average, I think, about $140,000 a year, right? So this is the point I'm trying to make: is if you think it's a left or right thing, Ash, and when you say, oh, no more Republicans, like, they're both screwing you. It's just one's maybe screwing you a little bit more. You know what I mean?
See, I think that as a white person, you can really say that with your full chest and believe it. But frankly, only one party is advocating to remove my civil rights. Only one party is advocating to undermine the Voting Rights Act. Only one party is trying to get rid of the 14th Amendment. So while, in terms of being, maybe corporately corrupt, they might be equivalent, in terms of racial politics, there is a stark contrast, and that cannot be overstated. Oh, and don't forget about abortion.
I disagree. Go ahead, Jeremy. Alicia, I agree with those points. I think that that's where the nuance is, that there is still like social issues that one side is fighting for more than the other. But where I get disheartened is when I see both sides come together, both sides who are multimillionaires, despite the fact that they, don't make enough money to really have that much wealth, and they agree to pass unbalanced budgets that are a tax on every poor American that earns USD and saves in USD. So I think that so I agree with you, but they're not in a